Okay, I hope you can see this. Civilization started with agriculture. Custom-made shirt from my aunt forever, Shaka Indugu. Civilization started with agriculture. This is Curse of Hammurabi, Shaka Indugu, who I support. Civilization started with agriculture.
Hey, this is my unboxing video that I'm doing for the product I bought from my Out Forever's channel. I bought the coffee mug, and here it is. Sorry there's a glare from the screen, but lots of bold, crisp, beautiful colors, inside and out, high quality ceramic. I absolutely love it. So y'all go check out his website. It's got a lot of fun, fresh designs. And cheers to you, Shaka, and all of your endeavors. Peace.
All right. Hey, brother Donnie Williams. See, you got your makeup.
Yeah. What's up, Shaka? I was gonna do just I know it's a serious topic, but I was gonna do a little.
No, I appreciate that, bro. I'm glad.
So
I'm glad. Yeah. Live unboxing, bro. You don't mind if I use this excerpt, like as a clip, my intro?
No. Oh, it's all good.
Thank you. And for those who wonder, I'm gonna share the link. All right, that's lovely.
Yeah, I got the Heather Gray. Oh man,
Oh, you got the Kemet shirt as well. Okay.
Yeah, can you? I didn't know it had that on the back though.
Black. Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. That's what's up, man.
Lovely. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So just letting you know, just coming through, showing some support real quick, man. I'm about to get back into this Netflix film, so just wanted to say peace, man, and thanks.
Yeah, thanks a lot, brother.
Okay. All right.
Our sister RP is in the place to be. What's up, sister?
E.T. Sen E. How you doing?
E.T. Senate E. I'm doing nefer.
Oh, great. Well, I got it today. I was thinking it was coming from France, but then I did the tracking and it was outside actually when I went to check, and here it is.
Oh, that's what's up. It's just like my hat. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Let me do the solo layout. There it is, brothers and sisters. That's what's up.
I really like this. Yeah, so I have an after school program that I help facilitate. And I'm going to wear this because we're going to start talking about coding. So I'm going to use this as an introduction because this is a code. It's ancient code, but it's still a code. And then we're going to be able to, I'll be able to demonstrate to them the meanings inside each of the, glyphs and stuff. So, but yeah, I was looking online and I was like, this is actually like really good designs, So as soon as I get some more, extra money, I'm going to get the matching hat, and I want to get a Ma'at shirt, but I really like the Kemet one to start with. Yeah, so it's really good, and the prices ain't bad either. So
thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Appreciate
that.
Donnie Williams
wrote. Yes, go ahead, sister. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that boonie cover, the hat. I don't know what they call it. I call it a boonie cover. I really like that with the
bandana.
Nah.
Oh, the cover, the protection cover thing.
Yeah, it goes all the way around. That's the one I want to get next too. Yeah.
Do you mean that?
It's a hat that I don't know what they call it. It's like a
like a beanie low, like a hat for winter, like.
Or that you would wear if it's sunny, but it goes all the way around.
Oh yeah, I get it. Oh, okay. I didn't even know that was added.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that one too. But yeah, I got it. Proud owner of my own my Out Forever shirt. Kemet. Yeah.
That's what's up. Realness over bitch assness. Microphone check 1 2 1 2. Good. Hotep Senuena Senuti Tiren Ishakandugu Kemet. I hope you're doing well. The title of this last stream is Tariq Nasheed Foundational Black Americans Fled to Haiti. Maybe I should add FBA in parentheses, but Now I'll put Tariq Nasheed. I'm not really trying to, have a conversation, a communication. I put his name because he's one of the forerunner of this FBA movement or vibe, as I like to call it. And for those who don't know, for the last 2-3 years or something, he has been making very disrespectful remarks. I like that. I like that. David wrote, I just want to be on record for saying Saneda is a bitch. I agree. Saneda is a bitch. The House of Consciousness is a bunch of bitches, even the silent ones. And I wanted to talk about it today, actually. But who's in the place to be? I'm in the place to be tonight. Elijah Edwards is in the place to be tonight. He wrote, I see you've gone live on your other channel, so you got it back. I had it back for a while. The things that when people try to go on the channel, like youtube.com/mouthforever, it would say that the channel is not available. I did a test video earlier on, and I want to thank the brothers and sisters who contacted me to let me know that they could actually see it, but they told me that they cannot comment on it, you see. And if they click on my username, my picture or my username, then it will lead them obviously to my YouTube homepage, and it will say that it's not available. So as a matter of fact, if somebody is watching that stream, I'm actually streaming on both channels. First time I do that. I'm now streaming on the Shakandugu Game channel and also on the Ma'at Forever channel. If somebody can please let me know if they are watching on my Ma'at Forever channel, this way I can see if there's any difference in the comment section. Because at this point, I don't know, and I presume that most people are in the chat on the Shakandu Kemet. Well, we can do something better. Do something better. Do this. That's the link. So here's the chat. Okay. Subscribers only mode. Okay. So says it's not available. Yeah, my channel. But here, I'm gonna put this on here. Here, that's the link to the stream on Mouth Forever. Can somebody go and just type anything in the chat? Just type, test. Just type test, please. But on that link, not here. All right? If you don't mind. Somebody can do that. I would appreciate that. And funding. Oh, okay. It lets you see the. Okay. It's new. All right. So can somebody do that for me? Oh, you know what? I want to see if it works. Let me see. Can I change it? Switch account. It shows. Okay. All right, good. But anyway, I'm not gonna wait. Oh, says action not allowed when I try. Are you a subscriber? Because it's a subscribers only mode. It's funny, man. You know what? Hold on. I'm not subscribed myself. Oh yeah, there's no way to subscribe. Yeah, okay, I get it. I get it. Because I know David is a paid if I'm not mistaken, he's a paid subscriber. Well, okay, well I have my answer. Thanks a lot, brother David. Thanks a lot. Okay. All right, let's keep this moving. So I was. Oh, okay. No longer. Okay, yeah. Yeah. I know some of you received the email. Well, it should be all of you really talking about, the stuff has been suspended or YouTube. I'm not even hoping anything anytime soon. They asked me to do some troubleshooting steps. They asked me to film it. Nikki Willie wrote, yeah, Shaka, you are back. What do you mean I'm back? Are you watching this from the Mad Forever channel? Because David said that he cannot even post over there. But I mean, my account has been back. It's just my home page that doesn't work. And YouTube asked me to do some troubleshooting to film it. So I made some private live streams, sent it to them. I actually did 4 of them, and they ended up telling me, okay, we'll get back to you. 2 different people sent me an email saying, we'll get back to you. We're gonna, contact the internal team or whatever. I'll get back to you. I've sent them an email asking, is there any update? I haven't got any reply yet. And usually they get back to me in the early hours, like 3 a.m., 4 a.m., and at that time usually I'm sleeping. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. Anyway. So indeed the title of this live stream is Financial Black Americans. I can see the live stream, but we can't type anything. I appreciate that. Thank you. David was saying the same thing. So where was I? Yes, for the last 2-3 years, Tariq Nasheed has been making some very disrespectful comments towards Caribbeans, Africans, and one of his talking point was, "You fled your country, you ran from your country." How ironic that some foundational Black Americans fled the United States of America to go to Haiti and other places as well. All right. You were reminding us that Canada is a beach. Yeah. Then I would share the link so everybody can get on the panel. And I will. They are hurting right now. They are hurt. Canada is bleeding internally, sending beach-made dudes crying and complaining now, crying and complaining like bitches. But anyway, I ain't gonna be too long anyway. So first, I'm going to share the title and the link in the chat. No, I always make it easy for everybody. There it is. You have it there. Impact of the Haitian Revolution on now LA stands for Louisiana. We have Killer B the Witchfinder General up in his piece. He's in the place to be as well. So yes, the LA stands for Louisiana, not Los Angeles. I guess they put that for sure. By John O'Connor. Now, now here, share screen. There it is. You see, that's the gentleman right there. Now, he must have been. He's probably no longer with us on this earth. Let's get them. I have to get that mosquito man because I'm not a Buddhist. You attack me, I'll attack you back. Bastard. So, just for the record, listen to how he's introduced. At minute 1:17 of the video.
Welcome again to the 5th lecture in our continuing series on Louisiana Purchase. The lecture this week will be presented by Professor John T. O'Connor, who has been at UNO since 1972.
So he has been at UNO since 1972. What is UNO? If we go back.
The 5th lecture in our continuing series
is introduced by Raphael Casimir Jr. He is a Seraphia D. Lader Professor of History at UNO. UNO stands for University University of New Orleans. Okay.
On Louisiana Purchase. The lecture this week will be presented by Professor John T. O'Connor, who has been at UNO since 1972.
So now for the record, from the University of Louisiana, you will see the credential of this professor. And David was also on point. Illubi wrote, that's just the that's just the way it is. He was live streaming once. He was talking about all these foul people, all these whack doctrines, and then he was like, and then people would be acting like that's just the way it is. Ever since, he cracks me up, man. You see those rapists, child molesters, scammers, and people be like, oh man, that's just the way it is, man. Okay, so here it is now. Let's see this link right there. See, this is the University of New Orleans, and we have John T. O'Connor, Professor Emeritus, Education. He got his PhD from the University of Minnesota, Minnesota. I guess that's how you pronounce it, in 1965. All right. So, Professor, 17th and 18th century Europe, French Revolution, and Napoleon. All right. There was actually a movie that's about to be released, that's about to hit the theaters about Napoleon. You know, I'm not sure how much they're going to talk about Haiti, because for those who don't know, the Haitians first gained their independence. They abolished slavery, and I think it was is it 1789? Well, the date that we are familiar with is 1804, because Napoleon reestablished slavery. So the Haitians had to abolish it again. And since 1804, Haiti became known as the first black republic in the world. The first group of people to have successfully put an end to slavery. Okay, so just for the record here, you have University of New Orleans. If you click on it, see that? University of New Orleans, showing that nice building, blah, 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 you know, apply today, whatever you want to do, okay? So this is really the university, all right? Okay, that being said, I can close this and go back to this professor, to this PhD, because I didn't say, he said it. This is time stamped 37 minutes.
Advocates in Louisiana. The Deslandes revolt served to confirm many of their fears and predictions. In the years preceding the Civil War, the late 1850s, many free blacks in Louisiana believed that a move would be made to enslave all people of color in the state. Over 10,000 free blacks, many from New Orleans, migrated to Mexico. And
over 10,000 free blacks migrated to Mexico, right? Mainly from New Orleans. Now, he said over 10,000, right? Let's go back.
Over 10,000 free blacks, many from New Orleans, migrated to Mexico.
Right? 10,000, Mexico. Someone said, oh, Mexico is not Haiti. Fine, chill. Listen.
And settled there. Thousands more went to Haiti.
Thousands more went to Haiti. So over 10,000 to Mexico, thousands more to Haiti.
Free blacks in Louisiana believed that in the Civil War, the late 1850s, many free blacks in Louisiana believed that a move would be made to enslave all people of color in the state. Over 10,000 free blacks, many from New Orleans, migrated to Mexico and settled there. Thousands more went to Haiti. All the while, Haiti had remained a kind of pariah state in the eyes of much of the international community.
All right, so you heard it for the record. That PhD said it. I did not make it up. Now, what else do we have? Here on JSTOR, it's a journal that publishes academic papers. There's a long title. You have it in the chat right there. You can see that. But anyway, let me share this. The Free People of Color in Louisiana and Saint-Domingue, a comparative portrait of the three caste slave societies. I tried to look up the credentials of Laura Fauna, couldn't find anything. I didn't want to spend too long with that. Now I have the download option because I'm a university student. Some of you are, some of you may have access, or some of you may have paid for the subscription, but I have downloaded it. So I'm going to I'm going to share the page. That's the one. So that's the article, you see. Comes from the Journal of Sociohistory, summer 1970, volume 3, number 4, pages 406 to 430, published by Oxford University Press. All right, so I might as well put that in the chat for the record. And then if I do a search for Haiti, there it is. So this time it's going to be on page 421, which is page 17 of the PDF. You have the footnote 80, and you can see that it says, when a group of 81 free coloreds left Louisiana for Haiti in 1860. A white newspaper wrote that their departure will relieve us from the painful task of maintaining the proper equilibrium between them and whites, their superiors on one side, and the slaves, their inferiors on the other. So it specifically says here that there's a group of 81 free coloreds that left Louisiana for Haiti. All right. So I can close this. There's another article right there. I'll read the comments. I see there's some new comments. If I share this link, it's an LSU library, so I don't really know what it's, if you go to about, what is it about again? There it is, about. I mean, you can't read it, but anyway, if I go back, Haiti, there it is. There's that part right there. Other factors also played a part in free blacks leaving Louisiana. An influx of Irish and German immigrants who displaced free black tradesmen and were willing to work at unskilled jobs for low wages began in the 1830s. The Panic of 1837 severely affected the state and pressured some wealthy blacks to sell property. Due to multiple factors, the Louisiana's free black population shrank over the next 20 years. Many left to seek a better life in the North, France, Haiti, and Latin America. FBAs left America to seek a better life overseas, including Haiti. So, like I said, I wasn't going to be long. So now I can share the link to get on the panel. It's the comments that were left. So Elijah, no, hold on. First we have Abdul Wakil wrote, I'm new to this channel, and I did see Abdul Wakil's comment in one of my latest video. The first time I saw the name Wakil is someone known as Wakil Allah, who is part of the Allah team, which Dr. Wesson Muhammad used to belong to. Today I saw that Dr. Wesley Muhammad uploaded a video about his book Black Arabia, so I left a link and I put refuted. Now, let's see if it still shows. Uploaded the video 4 days ago. Well, I don't see my comment, so probably it was deleted. But here's what it is. I'm going to show you the link that I've shared. It's a very detailed article about this claim of the Black Prophet Muhammad, which is really erroneous, you know. But you know what? I'm going to put, there it is. So in the chat, color of Prophet Muhammad, hold on. Color of Prophet Muhammad and the errors at the emergence of Islam, and you have the link there. A very detailed article. So Elijah Edwards wrote, so Shaka, what are you rebuttal on Tariq Nasheed information? I just wanted to make a very important point. He disrespected so many people of African descent, of Caribbean descent, by telling them that they ran from their countries, that they fled, that they are traitors, that they are cowards, and all that. But yet we have some FBAs who left, who fled. See, the reason why people flee their countries for many reasons. It may be economic reasons, maybe because of war, maybe because of dictatorship. You know what I'm saying? So that's just for the record. You know, it's not to trip too much. You know, just like, hey, there it is. So it's a talking point. You know, now Abdul Wakil wrote, I call him Tariq, not shit. I never heard that wordplay before. Now, have to expose all these frauds preying on black people. Who Mar Johnson needs to expose also. Well, you know, birds of a feather flock together. You know, Scam Netta got to go. He's on his way out. Been going over your videos. All right. Prophet Muhammad was an Arab. The thing is that, yeah, I think that most people agree. But we have some people who claim that the Arabs were black. Some people claim that the Arabs of the 7th century were black. Dr. Wesley Muhammad wrote a book claiming that Prophet Muhammad was jet black and that his family members were jet black too. Okay. I don't like Tariq myself. He's a fraud, and also he's been banned from the UK. I didn't know that, but hey, he's not a political prisoner. Apparently in his so-called museum, they're doing some comedy show now. Abdul Wakil wrote Arrows Black. Where are you from, Abdul Wakil? If you don't want to say the city, you can just tell us the state, if that is America. No, so yes, Icha Sanera. There's one dude, you know, he had the same username as somebody who used to make videos for SETI. Doesn't mean it's the same guy. Because that guy who used to make videos for South Sudan SETI, he was anonymous, and I understand that he was living in Canada back then. And he'd have to come, and he's on holiday, of course, you know, because I'm in a zero tolerance mode. But when I say zero tolerance, Philly, America's most Islamic country, my bad. America's most Islamic city, Philadelphia. I don't have no videos. No, it's all good. So, he's been anonymous and unidentified. We never seen him, whatever. And then, you know, that's all I know. But that was just a name, you know. Could be anybody. And that person wrote, so are you going to see any of those people in the street? And some people alluded to that before. And I'm like, why don't they pay a plane ticket to come and see me? Why do I have to pay a plane ticket to see some mofos? If I have to cross paths with people, then you know it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny when one dude talks for other dudes. We have silent bitches. You see, the HOK we've seen the leader, the bitch ass senator, insulting people's mothers, people's daughters, people's sons. None of these bitch made hooker ass hoes said shit about that. So fuck them all. Now, there's another person. I forgot the username. He left a comment talking about, oh, you know, a smash walkway, you know what I'm saying? You know, you do associate him with them, whatever. What the fuck? The dude been on that panel. It's not years ago he been on that panel after Sanetta made some horrible remarks towards my daughter, 3-year-old daughter. So fuck Smash Rockwell. Plus, Smash Rockwell insulted me, disrespecting me for that bitch ass Sanetta and that bitch ass Garfield Reed who is his comment. So fuck Smash Rockwell. Smash Rockwell is a piece of shit. He's a hooker ass, monkey ass, bootlicker sucker. Fuck him. He's down with the fucking crew. Motherfuckers think that Sanetta is going to insult people's mothers. And motherfuckers gonna be like, oh, I didn't say it. Motherfuckers, you associated with it, with that motherfucker. You go on his panel. Fuck you too. I told motherfuckers my bullet's gonna hit any fucking body in the fucking way. And I'm not talking about physical bullets. The fuck is wrong with you? You know what I'm saying? The motherfucker was on my fucking. Gotta play it again. Gotta play it again. Gotta play that bitch made pussy ass smash walk one. Motherfuckers think it's a fucking game. He's down with them. He goes on the panel and there's like, you're trying to associate me with N-words on another coast. Could I live this life? Shouldn't have come and call me a sucker for that bitch ass Garfield. Plus he's pseudo because he claimed that Kush is not in Nubia. That the Hyksos are fake. They made that up. What you get, sucker. So, get this bitch ass who bitch made smash walk well. Grown man pussies. So you having the HOK. Here's Smash. Here's Smash. Okay, he's driving. What's up, Smash?
Too much. What's up?
Damn, I don't understand, man. I'm a clown. I'm an N-word. I put your name with pedophilia.
Here go the thing about that. You trying to be all up in American culture and don't even know when a nigga say French ass nigga how to act or the response. If I would have said bitch ass nigga, you supposed to get all high. See, so what you want to do, you want to be fake half American and try to halfway get with what we doing, or you going to all the way get with it? Because if somebody say to me, nigga, what's up? I ain't about to be acting all funny. So what you want to do? Should I treat you like a Frenchman or a half trying to be an American culture ass nigga?
So now you're trying to justify that xenophobic statement.
I'm asking a question.
You're salty, brother.
Do you want me to treat you like a Frenchman? I won't call you nigga again. But
when
any American come on your panel and I say, what's up, my nigga, they not going to get funny. So what you want me to do?
When you talk to other, you got to give me a chance to speak. When you talk to other people, you don't bring up their geographic location. Why would you bring up the fact that I'm French?
If you said Oakland ass nigga, the part I ain't gonna trip off ain't the ass nigga is.
You don't do that with other people though.
Can I respond? I'm giving you some credit. Ass nigga is pejorative, but we not having a discourse where you qualify anything dignified, meaning you're being indignant. And you act like you got good character, but you really got a video with my name up and shit, and you keep on doing like you do everybody. You talking about pedophilia and shit, all kind of stupid shit that don't got you associating me with niggas on the other coast.
All right. Tell me the title. Hold on. You're making a false accusation right now.
You just got through saying it was more important to show people, nigga, that ain't how it work in America either.
Okay.
You want to get on your fake pseudo vigilante? Show me some shit you doing to stop any pedophile in France. Just one video.
Well, I did that before. I played that.
Where?
You can
Show the video.
ask Pan African James. Now, I don't think I'll be able to
You
put it up.
fake, and this is why you don't get no support, because like man to man, niggas see who real right
Well,
here.
you know what it is. You know what it is though. You ask questions. When I answer, you don't want to hear the answer. I played to Pan African James the video where I was in the museum and one of the Pan African ladies stated he's a pedophile. I got into physical fights 10 years ago because
That's
of against
honorable.
pedophiles.
But let me say something.
But hold on, wait. If you don't mind,
if you don't mind,
if you don't mind, now here you wrote, see this clown make disrespectful videos, putting my name in them in the title, associated me with pedophilia. Which video is that?
This one and all the other ones. You got a video right now where I'm in talking in live with my name on it, and you just got through showing shit that don't got shit to do with me in order to associate.
Bro, you know you're lying.
You just
specifically.
Why was you playing Camilla Hebrew?
Somebody in the chat. Somebody in the chat. Somebody in the chat. Somebody in the chat brought that up and gave me the link. Now you wrote that I put title associating you with pedophilia. Can't you admit that you are wrong about that?
Ain't nothing wrong. Just like you wrong about the hike songs. This is what happened with you. I learned.
We can talk about the hike songs, but first, just keep it real.
Hella oversensitive, and you mask your indignant character in some passive aggressive shit.
All right. So Sanetta has good character, brother. He's defending the child molester Malakayo for 10 minutes straight. Does Sanetta have good character?
Who? See, this is what you keep doing. See, you did it again.
I'm just asking. You deflecting right now. You're running from the question.
This is why I'm pointing out to you your indignant flaws.
Brother, Sanetta is on tape.
Allow me to.
You didn't see the video, did you?
Look, I could pick out any. Right. I could pick out any criminal in the world.
I'm gonna play it because he's probably gonna act like he didn't see the video. So you heard Smashwalker being a shredded beach ass, right? Because he said, I have bad character. So I asked him a simple question. Sanetta is on tape defending Malachi York for 10 minutes straight. Does he have bad character? That bitch has Smashwalker couldn't say has a bad character. That's a bitch. That's a butt leaker. You know what I'm saying? Because Malachi York, for those who don't know, is a serial rapist. He's a child molester who raped boys and girls, and they have his DNA too. Gave those children herpes and chlamydia. All right? So the bitch ass, monkey ass, pussy ass Sanetta can defend a convicted rapist. The whole ass hooker ass Marsh cannot say he has bad character, but I have bad character. All that's because that bitch ass, who is the one who's hella sensitive, who is fucking pseudo talking about Kush is not in Nubia. The University of Harvard says otherwise. The University of Chicago says otherwise. The University of Manchester says otherwise. But this hooker woke up one day and decided to be pseudo just like his motherfucking teacher, bitch ass Butler Reggie. So, Fox Mashwakwa. If somebody defends a serial rapist, somebody that raped children, and that pussy ass cannot say he has bad character, how the fuck we gonna listen to a pussy like that? Even ISUPK try to, distance themselves from the stuff, try to, not talk about it, and just like, what I'm saying, all their rapists and child molesters, like, try to act like, we don't want to talk about that. But Sanetta up in the open, and I played a video so many times, 10 minutes, 9 minutes, 48 seconds to be exact. 10 minutes straight defending York. Spreading misinformation, talking about York didn't go to prison for child molestation. How the fuck? Now, another thing, and then I'm going to read the comments. I have some pussy-ass grown man who leave comments, and they go, man, you curse too much. Motherfuckers, fuck you. When Sanetta talked about F your mother, F your daughter, I didn't hear none of you pussy-ass, monkey-ass, bitch-made, hoe-ass male thoughts. So fuck y'all motherfuckers. I don't see them bitch-made motherfuckers tell Sanetta, oh, he's cursing too much. How many people I'm down with have you heard cursing people's mothers? On my channel. How many times you heard me insulting somebody's mothers or children if they are not over 18? You know what I'm saying? I hollered at adults. I don't want to hear nobody, oh, you use much. If your child is over 18, okay, there it is. Some sucker may say, well, you talking about my wife. That's not his wife. That's his jumper. Same lady who stole money from him, according to him. So they are bleeding internally, crying. And the silent bitches, the silent hoes, fuck them too. Some motherfuckers may do the logistic. They may do the designs. They may do the music. They're part of the fucking crew, part of the fucking team. They are. They heard the motherfucker defend Malachi York. They heard the motherfucker say to people, F your mother, F your daughter. And then they claim that they're down with moral values, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's the Most High in the Bible, whether it's Kemet and Ma'at, whether it's Islam and the Sunnah, you know? What fucking moral value? Beach made motherfuckers. Fuck the House of Consciousness. Fuck Sanetta. Fuck the whole HOK. I ain't never seen a YouTube channel in my life that invites convicted rapists and child molesters. Anyway. Abdul Wakil wrote Prophet Muhammad. Now, you know the SAWS, that's an acronym for the Arabic, you know, may peace be upon him, was an Arab. Okay. So as you're concerned, were the Arabs of the 7th century black or not? Elijah Edwards wrote the real Arabs were dark skinned and not the Arabs you see today in the Middle East. So it says who, brother? It says who? It says Denzel Washington in the movie Malcolm X when he talks about the Hebrews and said they were people of color. Dark skin means black now. There's some Latino who are dark skinned. We have some Italians who are dark skinned. We have some people from Spain who are dark skinned. They're not black. Dark skin don't count much. It's not precise enough. Abdul Wakil wrote a bang on the con artist community. Elijah wrote, yes, Sanetta was way out of line and wrong, very disrespectful. Shaking my head. Abdul wrote, Garfield was on Scamlight side also. She just changed his mind. She just changed her mind. Donnie wrote, John Owens looking a fool. Oh, yes, he does. Abdul wrote, isn't they stealing another people's culture? Please be specific. Donnie is tagging Satwa and say, go get your man. Satwa is another sucker, man. But that dude is anonymous and unidentified. So I don't want to spend too much time on people who, you know, try to be, you know, in the big boys yard, you know what I'm saying? And then we don't even know who they are. They're not really existent in the real world. Abdul wrote, Garfield has love talking about Scamlight again. Or has a live talking about Scamlight again. All right, you know, Garfield is one of the biggest sucker of the conscious committee for real. It's just pitiful. But it's only the HOK beach made dudes gonna bring anybody and try to present them to the people as if they are thorough or something. Garfield is a straight up fucking amateur. He embarrassed his old squad by not showing up for his debate with Jabari after popping off the mouth for 2 fucking years, being coached by that pussy ass beach made Reggie Mabry, who is also a pseudo who said that Heru is Greek and Ma'at is a bird. A bunch of fucking clown crew. You know, you have those Hebrews all like running around, you know, with some rape doctrine, hiding their rapists and child molesters, sending money to them, and telling you that the Tainos are black people. Tainos are black people. Oh my goodness. Those people were there for I don't know how long. They snatched some people from Africa, brought them over there, but you have those, you know, Moorish type of doctrine, you know, Native American, you know, indigenous. There's have so many different names for that, you know. People thinking how you have black people indigenous to America, showing you some black and white pictures or painting, you know, and say those are black people. Both channels good, Chaka. That's what's up, Donnie. Donnie's in the place to be. I forgot to say that, but you can obviously see that. Can't comment on my channel. Thank you. Other people say the same thing. Abdul wrote, I call them predator protectors. They are protecting. Oh, I'm glad you wrote that, Abdul. Because check this out. Just a few days ago, that bitch ass senator said what?
After this whole polite case go on, and when this shit is over with, I want to see all you niggas. Listen to me good, y'all. Rob on, Garfield, all y'all know who I'm talking about. I want to see all you niggas, because I'm gonna be pulling up some reports of molestation in Harlem, in the Bronx, some fresh ones that just went on. I want to see y'all stand up and fight. I appreciate y'all standing up and fighting for this case right now.
See, that bitch ass doesn't care about the children who are molested. Doesn't care about the children who are in harm's way. It's just him saying these locations because he knows one person in Harlem and one person in the Bronx that ain't down with him no more, and he's letting them know, motherfucker, you ain't down with me. I'm gonna let them know. That filthy piece of shit, motherfucker, and that hooker ass, whore ass, monkey ass, twerking thought Napa who claims to be against child molesters. How the fuck she ain't saying shit? Anyway, Elijah would most definitely getting way out of line. It's all about making money. They all need to go and look a real job. Abdul wrote exactly all about taking black people money. I mean, if they present accurate information, it's cool. But they fucking present rapists and child molesters and pseudo motherfuckers. So taking black people money and then saying, watch out for the white man. Oh my goodness, Those Hebrew Israelites, what's their track record when it comes to fighting the white man? Or when it comes to fight black people? Oh, they have a long track record. They even fight among Hebrew Israelites, like we have seen, over a damn chair. And many of them rape women and children. And have the nerve to call Dr. Martin Luther King a bitch. And that hooker ass Saneda agrees with that. I'm banned on Scam Cheddar channel because I was exposing him for years. Well, let the people know. Anybody that bangs on the House of Consciousness, particularly Saneda, is welcome here because that pussy Saneda is a child molester defender, is a rapist defender. Check. Elijah Roshaka, did you see the 20 minutes interview with Saneda and General Yohana the other day? I thought it was some old stuff that he put back, So I don't recall ever watching General Yohana like a full video of his. I scrolled through a few, but listening to him in full, no, not interested. I mean, I heard his captain Tazayak, who was pseudo as fuck, talking about this book with attestation of Moses and Mary. I mean, in hieroglyphic, it's amusing. You know what I'm saying? But since Tazayak ran like a bitch, he was scared as fuck, so he wouldn't want to debate. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't mind destroying General Yohana. Anybody that's higher to the pseudo Tazayak. You know what I'm saying? Abdul wrote, Garfield lets me say something sometimes, but his mouths are emotional. He has a bitch ass, motherfucking monkey ass, Onifa and Mika, that thought slut whore, who had no problem with the rapists and the child molesters on the House of Consciousness. All right. No problem at all. Right. Even to this day, she's back over there. All right. And she put publicly on her own social media that she's down with OnlyFans. So Abdul Wooden the Pie is a pass around. I mean, everybody in the mama, either said it or heard it. And many people seen the pictures of Nepal, shaking her behind in injury, and many people said that they've seen her doing more. A lot of these sisters protect these predators. Yes, a lot of these sisters do protect those predators as well. There's a team of desperate baby mamas. We don't need to name them. They've been doing that for months. You know what I'm saying? That's the future of the black consciousness, according to the HOK. They don't have anything better to do. He's most emotional as hell, like their leader Garfield. the whole world has melanin except albinos. Albinos do have melanin. Albinos do have melanin. Sometimes people say stuff. I remember Malik Zulu Shabazz when he came to England for the Stop the Killing rally. You know, he went to London. I was living in London. I took my behind, took the bus, went to listen to him when he was with Yuhi Rose, who was a leader of the NBPP in England. And he talked about melanin. He said, melanin, which they don't have. Sometimes you hear stuff from people that you think are accurate, and you come to find out, it was not accurate. White people have melanin, and even albinos have melanin. Now, if people want to argue, okay, we may have one or two or a few albinos that don't have melanin, okay, you can go with that argument, but I've already made a video about that. Let me look for it. Well, I don't even remember if the title was about albinos. But if I do a search, if that's the case, then it will come up. So, oh, I remember. I think it's after I talked with that what's his name, Tahaka Bay. Tahaka Bay said he said that Osama bin Laden and Saddam Hussein were melanated. Oh my goodness. Did share an article from the NHS, National Health Services, or National Health Service in England. It's kind of like I don't want to say the FDA in America, but it's very reputable. But yes, the Huckabee first came on my panel, invited me to go on his, and he said that Saddam Hussein and Osama bin Laden were melanated. Well, Booker T. Coleman, who goes by the name, Kaba, I always struggle to say his name. Is it Kamene? Kaba Kamene? Yes, Kaba Kamene. He did say that Saddam Hussein was an African man. And he was obviously, trying to be diplomatic. He was wrong. Okay, let's just say he was wrong. Who say he was stripping? For all purposes, going to share the lecture. In that lecture, at one point he says Saddam Hussein was an African man. That is, you have the title and the link. You know what? Let me scroll through, see if I can find that part. That's 2 hours long. One hour 57 minutes. But I have it somewhere in my archives. The part where it says, Saddam Hussein was an African man. I don't think it is currently up on my channel. Let me see. May have been at the beginning. If I don't find it, I'm going to look in my archive. I have my USB drive on the table. It looks like it's in the beginning.
Them today. The essence that made Saddam Hussein light complexion.
See that? See that? That's in the beginning. Right now it's 1 minute 50. You know what? I'll go to the start.
There's one person on earth that is the African person. And in traveling around the globe, this African finds him and herself in different climates. And because of the nature of the production of vitamin D in the body, it has to begin to regulate itself. So in order to produce vitamin D, this very dark complexion, very curly-haired Africans begins to depigment itself. And over thousands of years, this very dark complexion, wide-nosed, thick-lipped, very curly-haired African, because of climate, depigments itself. Its hair gets straight because of the oils produced with the lack of the sun. Its nose gets aquiline, the lips get thin. And over time, this African depigments itself into the European. What also helped this African get in very serious trouble was the Wormian Ice Age, which was the last ice age on Earth. This Wormian Ice Age literally chased them into the mountains of northern Europe that we know of today. That would have been where Cheikh Anta Diop says the 51st parallel is. At that point in time, for thousands of years, in the depigmentation process, ice mountains were created. Ice mountains that did not allow Africans to return back into the southern lands. Therefore, they had to retreat into caves and put clothes on. When what is known as an interstadial came, which is a warming trend of the Ice Age, they then found the ability to begin to move further south. As they moved further south on the other side of the ice mountain, where it had been a temperate or a very warm climate, when they got down into the real southern lands here, coming out the Caucasus Mountains, they met upon peoples of different backgrounds. The great majority of them of African descent, whether you are in Mesopotamia over here, whether you're dealing with any of the Saudi Arabian areas. This is why it's so important to understand that the European, the Eurasian as we know them today, the essence that made Saddam Hussein light complexion was called the Jectanides, Jectanides. That is the formation of the Eurasian coming down, meeting these individuals in Mesopotamia, and getting a first concept of what culture and civilization is. They still couldn't get it too good because they started wars, because this was their manner. They were a very violent people. They were a very dominating people. And so they were kicked out of every town they went to as they were traveling west. And finally, they find themselves in Cana, and then they cross over, which then brings this Eurasian into Kemet. And for the first time, you see Eurasians in Kemet. This did not happen during the Old Kingdom. This did not happen. This happened during the first intermediate period. The Africans had gone through 6 dynasties prior to the first European of any substance coming into the land to make him or herself feel known. So all this concept about the pyramids, all that's nonsense. And I think that really, as our brother was saying, sure, we got to stop talking on certain levels. I believe that our discussion at this point is...
I was distracted. Did he say it yet? Did he say, so Saddam Hussein was an African man? Did he say it yet or not yet? Let me continue.
Counterproductive. See, we're not about asking them, was Egyptians black? That's yesterday's discussion. See, we dealt with that yesterday. Whether or not you're up to the par is your business. Okay, you missed the train. I didn't. I was on that train. And so now we have got to be about the formation of a nation in terms of our thought process. And this is why the Moors become so very important to us, because if you do not understand the Moors, it's very difficult for us as a people to understand why we're in the position that we're in today. You cannot understand why we're in the position we're in today if you don't understand what happened in 1492. You cannot understand what happened in 1492 if you don't understand the Crusades. You cannot understand the Crusades if you don't understand the Moors. Because the very nature of the knowledge that the Crusaders, the Christian Europeans, got of the riches of the East, why Columbus was on the seas in the first place hundreds of years later, was because of what the Moors had brought into Spain. And when you look at European powers, see, here's another way that you can look into it. See, this is why the 2 areas that they want to keep black folk out of in education is social studies and language arts. It's the 2 areas that we have to conquer. Math, science, all that's important, but those are all physical sciences that we can master anyway. But you see, Social studies tells you what happened. Language arts puts it in a language that tells you what happened. And see, we're not suffering from a misunderstanding of science nor of math. We are suffering from a misunderstanding of ourselves and how to express ourselves, which falls into the category of social studies and language arts. So when I was looking for an area to find myself in Board of Ed, I immediately went to social studies because I understood that revolutionary things could happen, and they are happening. Because you got to understand the sequence of events in history. You have to see the sequence. And when you see sequence, then everything else comes to be an understanding. The Jectonites coming down into this area then mix with these African folk, and these are the people who would later become the Saddam Husseins, but deeply entrenched in an African thought. See, even Saddam Hussein is an African man, even if not by complexion, which he is by complexion. But even if they were to claim that because of their complexion, they still lived a culture that was African-based, because they as a people had no culture. They brought no culture with them. They brought no formed pattern of behavior, because it was so easy to adapt to the behavior of African people, because that's where the culture was. That's where the civilization was. That's where measurement occurred. And where measurement occurred comes mathematics and science and the formations of technology, and that's what brings the civilization through.
So that was in full context. I'm just going to go back. We are at 5 minutes 35. Let's go back a little bit.
But deeply entrenched in an African thought. See, even Saddam Hussein is...
It's easy for you. It's 5 minutes. It's at minute 5. It's at minute 5.
Is an African man. See, even Saddam Hussein is an African man, even if not by complexion, which he is by complexion.
But he, now from my memory, he said Saddam Hussein was an African man, but I presume he was alive when he made that lecture. So he said Saddam Hussein is an African man. And he goes, even if not by complexion, which he is by complexion. So even by complexion, and I'm not trying to make fun, of Booker T. Coleman or Kaba Kamene, but that comment to me was off, because if Saddam Hussein is or was an African man, then I guess everybody on the planet Earth is an African man, But the Asiatic black man, the people of that persuasion who talk about the most, for them, except the Russians, everybody's black. So he is black by complexion here. And no wonder they run around saying Prophet Muhammad was black. No wonder. So whenever they say Prophet Muhammad was black, that's what they're talking about. See? He is by complexion. Anyway, I digress, man. Nothing wrong with saying I was wrong, Oh, by the way, I've shared something. We have Abdul Wakil, who is from Philly, and here you have the secret connection between Temple 12 NOI and Philly's Black Mafia. There's a book, forgot the title, but it talks about this Black Mafia in Philly, and briefly they touch on the Hanafi murders. Some of you may not be familiar with the Hanafi murders, because anytime the Nation of Islam kill black people, most of these bootlickers don't care, just like with Malcolm X, man, it's another day. The beach house but Reggio, so was like, like it doesn't matter anyway, But it's Karim Abdul-Jabbar's imam. He criticized Elijah Muhammad because that's not Orthodox Islam, and everybody in the Mama knows it. So a hit squad, some NOI members went to the house. Now the imam, Khalis, was away, and they killed men, women, and children. And we know in detail what happened, because the woman that they shot point blank range in the head, she survived. They had mercy on the babies. They drowned them. They didn't want to shoot the baby, so they drowned the babies. Or at least one baby, one baby was drowned, So they showed mercy for the baby, Anyway. Abdul wrote the whole world has melanin except okay, I read that already, but once again, albinos do have melanin as well. Abdul wrote the Prophet Muhammad had red hair. Laja wrote the Arabs in 7th century were of dark skin. Shaka, you can find it in books and literature. All right, let's deal with that. I've already shared the link, but I'm going to share it again. Boom. Share the link in the chat. Color of Prophet Muhammad in the Arabs at the emergence of Islam. We have Muhammad described as white, as a white man in Sahih Bukhari, the most reliable, the most authentic collection of hadith. Boom. Muhammad described as a white man, Sahih Bukhari, hadith 63. Anas bin Malik reported that when a person inquired the companions about the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, they pointed towards him, saying, this white man, Rajul al-Abiyad, reclining on his arm. Al-Abiyad is in red, Rajul is in green. And here for the record, you do have the text in English on the left, in Arabic on the right. So you can verify if I made that up. Then we have Muhammad described as white, still from Sahih Bukhari. Hadith 3544, narrated Ismail bin Abi Khalid. I heard Abi Juhayfa saying, I saw the Prophet, and Al-Hassan bin Ali resembled him. I said to Abu Juhayfa, describe him for me. He said, he was white. And that is Kana Abiyada. And Abiyada is in red. Kana, of course, is in black. And there you have the text from the book in English on the left and in Arabic on the right, so you can verify if I made that up. Next, we have Muhammad described as white, this time from Sahih Muslim, a different collection of hadith. Sahih Muslim. Now you can have the reference 2340 or 6072. Abu at-Tufayl reported, I saw the messenger of Allah, and there is no one else left on the face of the earth who saw him apart from me. He, the narrator, said to him, how did you see him? He said, he was white. Kana abiyada. The English on the left, the Arabic on the right. What else do we have? We have white chick of Prophet Muhammad from Sahih Muslim. Sahih means authentic. White chick of Prophet Muhammad. Sahih Muslim hadith. You can either have 1315 or 119 or 582. You have different collections, different publishers, so you have different references. It was narrated from Amir bin Sa'id that his father said, I used to see the messenger of Allah saying the salam to his right and his left until I could see the whiteness of his cheek. Bayada hadai. Bayada is the word for white. Every time you see it red, that's the word for white, whiteness, and so on. You have the English on the left, the Arabic on the right. What else do we have? White complexion of Muhammad, Sahih Muslim. Sahih Muslim Hadith 2343 or 6081 or 107. It was narrated that Abu Juhayfa said, I saw the messenger of Allah with a white complexion. Abiyada is what is translated as white in English. You have the English on the left and the Arabic on the right. You can verify if I made that up. Now, what else do we have? Muhammad was not brown. Some people say he was dark. Sahih Muslim, Hadith 2347. It was narrated that Anas bin Malik said the messenger of Allah was neither very tall nor short, and he was neither glaringly white nor brown. Laisa bil abiyadi alam haki wala bil adami. Adami is the word that is translated as brown in English. You have the English on the left and the Arabic on the right, so you can check if I made that up. So he was not even brown. Some people claim he was jet black, But the Sahih hadith says that he was not even brown. Then we have white thigh of Prophet Muhammad according to Sahih Bukhari. Bukhari 371 narrated Abdul Aziz Abdul Aziz Anas. Okay, let me do this again. Narrated by Abdul Aziz. And he said that Anas said, when Allah's messenger invaded Khaybar, we offered the Fajr prayer there early in the morning when it was still dark. Allah's Prophet rode and Abu Talha rode too, and I was riding behind Abu Talha. Allah's Prophet passed through the lane of Khaybar quickly, and my knee was touching the thigh of Allah's Prophet. Then his thigh was uncovered by the shift of his izar, waist sheet, and I saw the whiteness of the thigh of Allah's Prophet. Bayadi, Fakhidhi, Nabiyi, Allahi. Bayadi is a word that is translated as white in English. You have the English text on the left and the Arabic text on the right. You can check if I make that up. What else do we have? Well, a fair bit so far, don't we? White abdomen of Prophet Muhammad, Sahih Bukhari, reference 7236, narrated by Al-Bara bin Azib. The Prophet was carrying earth with us on the day of the battle of Al-Azhab, the Confederates, and I saw that the dust was covering the whiteness of his abdomen. Bayada Bathidi, Bathihi. All right, I struggle. I did stutter. Sorry, but hey, I take that L. I don't claim to be fluent in Arabic, but I know it is some. Now, bayara is the word for white. Now, here is translated as abdomen. Some people may translate it as stomach, or belly, but Bathidi, you can check that word if you want. All right. So once again, you have the Arabic text on the right and the English text on the left, so you can double check to see if I make that up. Now, what arms of Prophet Muhammad? That's a different one. Sunan Abu Dawood. It's not Sahih Bukhari. It's not Sahih Muslim. Let me mute this. Okay, so where was I? What arms of Prophet Muhammad? Sunan Abu Dawood, Hadith 3206. Now I'm going to go straight here. Kathir said, Al-Muttalib said, the one who informed me of that from the Messenger of Allah said, it is as if I can see the whiteness of the forearms of the Messenger of Allah when he rolled up his sleeve. And you have Bayadi, Dhirai. All right. So once again, Biyadi, every time you see some red, that's the word that is translated as white, whiteness, and so on. English text on the left, Arabic text on the right. Now, we were at the arms. What else do we have? What armpits of Prophet Muhammad, Sahih Bukhari, reference Hadith 1031. Narrated Anas bin Malik, the Prophet never raised his hands for any invocation except for that of istisqa, and he used to raise them so much that the whiteness of his armpits became visible. Bayadu ibtaihi. All right, so bayadu is a word for white. It's translated as white in the English language, and you have the English text on the left and the Arabic text on the right. So that was the armpits. What else do we have? White legs of Prophet Muhammad, Sahih Muslim this time. Hadith 1119 or 249 or 503. Aun bi Abi Juhayfa narrated that his father said, I came to the Prophet in Makkah But he was in Abta, sorry, not Atba, Abta, Al-Abta, in a tent of red leather. Bilal came out with his leftover wudu water, and those who got some wiped themselves with it. Then the Prophet came out, wearing a red ullah dress. It is as if I can see the whiteness of his sheens. Ayadi Sakaihi. Ayadi, I'll let you take a wild guess. It's translated as whiteness in the English language. You have the text in English on the left and the Arabic text on the right. What else do we have? I have rosy complexion of Prophet Muhammad, and you have that part of the article that explains why some people claim that Prophet Muhammad was black skinned. So I'm giving you the direct link, and I suggest that you read that and you can understand the linguistic acrobatics and the linguistic gymnastics of Dr. Weston Muhammad, PhD in Islamic Studies. Okay, let me continue. Abdul wrote, addressing Elijah, that dark skin don't mean you're black. And he added that the con artist community is confused as F. Texas Bama isn't the place to be. Elijah wrote, true, same applies to the Native American Indians. Nikki Whitty is in place to be. She wrote, so you know about fresh cases. Why haven't you reported it? Because Sanada is a bitch. Abdul Wakil wrote, read the book No Secret, No Lies about black males raping black girls and black women protecting the black male rapers. No Secret, No Lies. Don't know that book. Who's the author? Secret. I'm late in the chat right now. How to Secret, No Lies. How black families can heal from sexual abuse. Damn, I didn't know that book. I'm gonna have a look later on. Now, it happens nearly everywhere, unfortunately. It's not just among black families. You know, the females let the guy attack each other, but if a guy attack a female, they block you. They love black men killing each other. Albinos come in all races. Well, many people have not seen that, but it's going to sound strange, but um, I've seen at least one in person, but you have some white albinos. You know, it's like, I know it may sound weird, it may sound crazy, but you know, yeah. David wrote, albinos do have melanin. Elijah wrote, Shaka, your subscribers moving on up. That's what's up. Abdul wrote, when and look at that Moore channel, his comments are off. Evolution is fake. I don't know what OOA means, but OOA and evolution has been debunked. The young Dryas brought all them people down towards Africa. Elijah was telling me that I wasn't yet at the part where he says that Saddam Hussein is an African man. Moors were Berbers and Arabs. Yeah, and there were, I mean, it depends on which point in time, because we can tie back the etymology of the word Moor all the way to BC time, if I'm not mistaken. So there are some Greek term, you know, that you can find, you know, like moros, and you can find a variation in Latin, which may be mori. And that's why before we have the English term more. And so at different times he would denote different people, you know. But in the first place, if I'm not mistaken, it denotes a population of Mauritania, which is not Mauritania. So we have Mauritania. Let's do this way. Mauritania, see, spelled this way. And it says a country in Northwest Africa, right? The Wikipedia link. Then you have Mauritania. Did I spell it wrong? Or is it Moret? Mauritania. See, but the difference is the I. I'm gonna type both so you can see. So So you have Mauritania versus Mauritania. The difference is that Mauritania, you have Mauri, and Mauritania, you have Maure. So what is Mauritania? It's the Latin name for a region in the ancient Maghreb, like we say in French. Al-Marhib, something like that in Arabic. So North Africa that is populated by white folks, and they've been there for quite a long time. You see. So we had some black mercenaries, black people among those Moors in different time. But in the book, the golden age of the Moor, edited by Dr. Ivan van Sertima, I've already went over the fact that most of the time you see some black folks within a group of people, they are a minority, you know. And we have that guy rowing. He doesn't look like he's royalty. Another guy looks like royalty. He doesn't look like a ruler. But you have one guy, the way he's dressed, and it looks like he's the one running these ninjas back then, But anyway, Fili has Salafi Muslims, not Nation of Islam. Okay, well, he has a wordplay. The Lost Hebrew Tapes wrote, Shalom, Shaka question, what French-speaking country you from? Your French accent scream Haiti. I was born and raised in France. My parents were born in Haiti. So the way I speak, it's not like with a Haitian accent, but I know the Haitian language. I know Haitian Creole, moi qu'on parle l'école. C'est non pas moi qu'on dit, moi déjà allé à Haïti, on parle avec famille qui était à Haïti, déjà allé aux États-Unis, on parle avec famille qui est aux États-Unis, famille qui était New York, famille qui était en Floride, grand famille de tous côtés. Quelqu'un qui Boston, quelqu'un qui Canada, quelqu'un qui la France, quelqu'un qui fait un petit temps en Amérique latine. Abdul Wakil wrote, Nation of Islam are not Muslim. Well, they are not Orthodox Muslim. Steph Curry is real light, but he's considered black. True. Like Ludacris and many other people. Arabs are whites mixed with Orientals. Because of Hammurabi is in the place to be. V. Bennett is in the place to be. Andrew Brunet is in the place to be. Well, it looks like V. Bennett must have finished his live stream because all of them come in here like that. Okay. OOA stands for out of Africa. For the record, I did share the invite link, you know what I'm saying? Because I've been flowing for a while, right? I don't mind the comments though, you know what I'm saying? I'm in a good fuck the HOK mood anyway. Divinely inspired is in the place to be. Enter the Christ is in the place to be. And he wrote Tariq Nasheed is a abo, But Tariq Nasheed now, if he didn't know, we'll know. He'll probably like, oh, I knew this, If he didn't know, now he knows. That some FBA, some foundational Black Americans fled the US to go to Haiti. So his talking point of telling African migrants and Caribbean migrants that they are cowards, that they ran from their country, that they fled their country, well, you can get that back. What's up, DP? How you doing?
What's up, Shaka? I'm good, brother. I'm good. Oh, let me turn my TV down. Can you hear it?
Yeah, but
now it's gone. Now it's gone. Yeah, man. I didn't get the invite. I got the invite like 4 minutes ago, man.
Yeah, it usually takes a time, before it appears on the timeline. But I saw that you were live, but I wanted to get that out of the way. I just came across that video. It's a PhD who said, but it's in the beginning for whoever has time. PhD that talks about the fact that in around 1850, you had 10,000 free blacks who fled to Mexico, and he said that then thousand more went to Haiti. So
I mean, Shaka, man, there's a lot that is sadly, right? We hear a lot, we hear that kind of traditional tales about Haiti, what are the typical things you hear about Haiti, right? You hear, or even South America, but let's say Haiti, that we hear. Can you hear me?
Yeah, here,
Oh,
brother.
okay. No, I think it's because the screen. Right. It's because a lot of times we hear like the story about Haiti, but we don't hear the story about the Caribbean. And we tend to isolate these islands like they don't have any connection to each other, and from the Americas too, and also from South America or Central America. But the reality is that the actual history of it, these groups intertwine a lot too. You know, there's a misnomer that a Spanish speaking person can't understand a French speaking person, and vice versa. You see, in this storytelling or this history telling. But actually, man, these people, they have connections with each other. I mean, and these revolts spread, these yeah. So on that note, I would believe it easily. I mean, we behave and we pretend like people don't just go across the boats and get on boats like they don't know each other, like they were out of reach of each other, but they were within reach of each other the whole time and interacted with each other the whole time in many ways. So I'm not surprised, bro.
And here, Nabat Co asked, he called them cowards now.
Is that what he
I'm not,
called?
no, he's asking a question because I did say that. I'm not 100% sure, but he definitely said to migrants from the Caribbeans, from Africa, including from Haiti, that they fled their country, that they ran from their country. And I'm not 100% sure, but I wouldn't be surprised if he used the word coward. But he used many words, many terms. He made it clear that, they ran, they fled, like it's a negative, not taking into account the reason why they left their country. But Enter the Crisis wrote, he did say that. Because
Yeah,
I really stopped listening to the dude for a long time ago. I came across some excerpt, and I think some have been removed because I think he realized that he kind of went too fast at times. He was going on rants. You know what I'm saying? But
it's just his. I mean, but look at him. He's sitting in his goddamn, home in California somewhere and sitting down. I mean, his lifestyle is nothing like people's lifestyle of that day, and the circumstances he faces are nothing like that himself. So it's just, why would you call anyone a coward? It just doesn't make any sense. But what year is he talking about?
who's that?
Just to make it short, just to
The scholar or Tariq?
Tariq. He's
He's not mentioning any year in particular. When he's having conversation with migrants, a lot of time you just tell them, you fled, you ran from your country. You know what I'm saying?
he's saying that in general.
Yeah, in general. So he
Yeah,
said that from people from the Caribbean. He said that from people from Africa. It's one of his main talking point when he was engaging them.
Yeah, he's just an asshole, man.
Yeah,
Tariq Nasheed is an
it's
asshole.
off.
I hate to
It's off.
say it, but I don't even hate to say it. It's out of the bag now. It's just like he's an asshole, man. He's,
And I want to say for the record, like I said before, sorry to interrupt you, brother VB.
no.
I knew him when he used to do his podcast talking about relationship. He has great advices for relationships. I bought his books, you know, not all of them, but I purchased, his books, you know what I'm saying? And I've even recommended his advices to several people because with the relationship, he's on point. But then he started doing the Hidden Color series, having all those Islamic influence people, the Moors, the NOI type of people. And by his name, it's no surprise, Nasheed, and most likely, but anyway, so he has that Moorish stuff in the mix, and for the most part, any person that claims to be a Moor, whether he's a temple Moor or not, the most science temple of America, for the most part, is inaccurate teaching. Just like the Nation of Islam, for the most part, is inaccurate teaching. Just like the Black Hebrew Israelite, for the most part, is inaccurate teaching. Most people who talk the Asiatic black men talk, for the most part, is inaccurate teaching. A lot of made up stuff with a little bit of factual history.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Mm-hmm. True indeed, man. I don't know what's going on with Tyreek, but I mean, in my view, he's kind of like falling off. He's not. I mean, he's reached his apex, I guess you could say, and he got what he wanted. He wanted that museum, pretty much. He got the museum. Don't you know? Sometimes the worst thing you can get is what you wish for.
It's a storefront, like people call it a storefront. But Abdul Wakil, I don't know if you're aware, but I'm just gonna play. It's gonna be quicker. It's gonna be quicker. So just for the record. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna share my screen. So here, Mosh World TV, that's the Hacker Base channel. That's his own video, right? So what I'm gonna do is copy the title and the link. That's his own channel. I didn't make that up. Share that in the chat. Yeah, in the chat. All right. So I'll do work here. Just gonna have to wait for the ad. Then we're gonna hear what the Hacker Base said. It's important to know, just for the record.
Defendant John.
Go back a little bit. The timestamp is 22:02. 22 minutes, 2 seconds.
Now, let's go down to record check. I'm not going to let you distract me. Record check. So this is the district court record check. All right? This is the district court record check. Traffic, yes, they checked. Criminal, yes, they checked. All right? Now let's go all the way down here to registered lifetime sex offender. Yes, they checked it. It's the MOSOR. Okay? But before we get to that, we'll explain what MOSOR is in a minute. Well,
just for the record, so there's no ambiguity. If I go a little bit further down and describe what this document is. Now it's timestamp 21:05.
Right there. Now, one of the problems with our people, email the ill of the Morris questionnaire.
Timestamp 20:47.
I wouldn't want you to pay close attention to, and I'm gonna blow it up for you.
You know what? I want you to hear, brothers and sisters, when he says that he wants to use that, he kept that because he wanted to use that for his documentary about his life.
It was a lie. So here is the video where he said a registered sex offender. Here is the actual paper. Sorry for the way that it looks, because I've had it for a while and I've been saving it for my documentary. I've been saving it for my documentary about my life. So what I want you to pay close attention to, all right? What I want you to pay close attention to, and I'm gonna blow it up for you. What I want you to pay close attention to is that this is an initial appearance questionnaire. All right. I want you to pay attention to the upper right hand corner. What's in that right hand corner? There is a case number right there. Now, one of the problems with our people, email the ill of the Morris Science Temple of America, the first appointed Supreme Grand Sheik, say we would be okay if we knew how to read. Now, right there is a case number. Everybody, if you got your pens and paper, I want you to write down the case number. 2C00435157. There's a case number. But before you finish, let's go down. It's a questionnaire. All right? We're going to go all the way down to what says record check, because many of you can't read. So you Nasheedians can't read. You know what I mean? No, I don't have a rent. I don't know. No, it's not own. Somebody say no rent, LOL. No, because right there it says own. OWN. Learn how to read, you Nasheedianites. Now, let's go down to record check. I'm not going to let you distract me. Record check. So this is the district court record check. All right? This is the district court record check. Traffic, yes, they checked. Criminal, yes, they checked. All right. Now let's go all the way down here to registered lifetime sex offender. Yes, they checked it. It's the MOSOR. Okay. But before we get to that, we'll explain what MOSOR is in a minute. Well, I told this story the other night that I was in Lowe's and a Mexican disrespect the sister, and it says, defended Johnson, then began to yell at him and stated, "That's my sister. You can't talk to her like."
Wait a second. What the heck happened to the MOSOR?
Well, what happened is that he starts off saying, "This is the document that Tariq Nasheed showed when he said that I'm a registered lifetime sex offender." You know what I'm saying? Here's the document. However, I kept it because I wanted to use it for my documentary about my life. And you can see the document, you know what I'm saying? Here, you know what I'm saying? Is lifetime registered. Yes, they check. And you know what I'm saying? Before we get into that, well, back in the days, I was in the store, you know what I'm saying? There was a Mexican. He had some words for his sister. I defended the sister. That's what happened.
You know what I think? I have a suggestion for you. If you have a used car dealership, hire him. He gonna sell some cars, man. This guy can sell anything.
He starts off saying, Tariq Nasheed said I'm a lifetime sex offender. Then he shows the paperwork and he reads,
That's what I'm saying.
offender. Yes, they check. So, like, was he supposed to refute what Tariq said?
Hey, man. You just have to know how to put them, move the pieces around. It'll work. It can work, man.
You see, it was something. I'm going to do something I don't usually do. I'm going to share a video that I have not seen. And it is on Tahaka-based channel, Moorish World TV. It's Imam Bashir that checks Sanetta. Look at the title. Imam Bashir checks Sanetta and gives us an inside look on the scams and manipulation of Sanetta TV. Even Imam Bashir, apparently. But I will check it later on. I know I'm downloading this. There's like 30 seconds left, just in case. But just for clarification, Sister Andrew Bennett, who is in the place to be tonight. No, Tariq did not leave to Haiti. It's just that some FBAs fled to Haiti, and because once again, several times he had some negative words towards migrants, whether they come from the Caribbeans or from Africa. And many times I heard him telling them, "Well, you fled your country, you ran from your country." You know what I'm saying? As if it's a negative, not taking into consideration why some people flee. So I'm not trying to be in a war like FBA versus Caribbeans, FBA versus Africans. It's not my thing. My people is my people worldwide, as far as I'm concerned. You know what I'm saying? Now, Enter the Crisis wrote, Tariq is also Tariq also said the so-called Latinos were the cause of the Black Power movement failing. See, there's Fat Joe, who's respected in the rap game. The only issue is him using the N-word. Immortal Technique was using the N-word, and he realized that he should stop using it, and he has made the effort to stop using it. Fat Joe claims he used it all his life, and he's fighting for Black people. Blah blah blah. Okay, all right. Now, Fat Joe looked out for Tupac. He told his people to look out for Tupac when he was incarcerated following that rape situation. Ultimately he was found guilty of some sort of like sexual offense, sexual assault, which is the equivalent of touching a woman's buttock. He was not found guilty of rape. For those who don't know. And what seems clear is that some people he was somehow somewhere associated with actually, rape the girl, sodomize her, or something like that. We don't really have. I don't think we have the full court transcript. If somebody has them, I wouldn't mind seeing it. Seems that she gave him a massage. He left the room. He went to do his thing, and then some people, entered the room and did their thing with the girl. You know what I'm saying? Though she went, giving a different version, on Vlad TV, but hey, can't go back in time. So Fat Joe has said for a long time that hip hop is a Black and Latino culture. Early on, you had some break dancers who were Latinos. You know what I'm saying? We didn't really have like many Latinos MCs like that. You know what I'm saying? Most people will argue, okay, this is a Black culture. Black people, originated hip hop. But the things that we have DJ Kool Herc, right? Who comes from Jamaica. He came up with, with the sound system, you know what I'm saying? And, he's credited as having the two turntables and having the break beat part of a song, on loop, so he's known or nicknamed the grandfather of hip hop, the founder of hip hop, many different titles, But Tariq Nasheed is on this FBA vibe. He's like, right. So he's looking for somebody else, like Grandmaster Caz or whoever it was, you know what I'm saying? Because he can't be somebody from the Caribbean. So in that same breath, he's like, oh no, man, no Latinos, no Latinos, no. He wanted to do a documentary about hip hop, you know.
But you know, Shaka,
Yeah.
it depends on, you know, that's the issue, man. I think that, you know, because hip hop, if you're talking about hip hop, that's graffiti, breakdancing, rap, and the
And
turntable.
DJ, MCing and DJ, yes.
Right. And so the issue is that, I mean, instead of these, they should understand it's kind of like Pan American fusion, you know, in a sense, you know, because you have like the rap element. The rap element, I don't see how anyone could not argue, can't understand it. It's very United States American type of thing. The rap part, right? Not to say that it doesn't have, maybe it's not, hasn't influenced or been influenced, right? But you clearly have like people in the 30s and 40s rapping. You know, you have it, it's documented in the US, rapping just like they rap in Sugar Hill Gang type of thing, right? But then you have the breakdancing. Well, look at the breakdancing. What does it look like? You can see that there's elements of like what well, they had that in the 40s too, man. I mean, they had it in the 40s too in America. It's been documented. It's on video. It's on video, literally. And then you have the graffiti. I mean, I'm not one to try to I think where the issue is that if they just said blacks and Latinos, that would have worked perfectly, because that includes everybody. That includes Latinos can be from South America, blacks can be from South America, blacks can be from North America, Latinos can be from North America, Central America also. I think that was fine. Somehow the conversation broke off into something else, like what exact, you know, trying to break it into, I don't know, man. I don't know where it got lost. I think xenophobia popped in, bro, to be honest. And xenophobia will complicate anything, but it's clear you will see Hispanics or Latinos there in the graffiti and in the breakdancing and even in the rap from early on. You will see that. And you will see blacks in the graffiti, in the breakdancing, and in the rap from early on. But divinely inspired, man. Yo, you should hop up because you're from the Bronx, yo. So you know even more about this than I do. But I can only say what I saw. I know that if there's a group of rappers, it's a choir or a gospel group, and they're known now. But these guys were rapping. Have you ever heard of them, Shaka?
No, but I would like to interact. I got
Mm-hmm.
away from my desk, but I heard everything you said. I'm
Yeah,
glad you mentioned. I'm glad you mentioned. We have footage, black and white, you know,
yeah,
from back in the days of people
they
doing
do.
those some of the breakdancing moves that we see in hip
Yes,
hop, you know. And there's another thing, the Bronx.
but do we know who influenced them?
Well, some people would argue it may come from Africa. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Divinely inspired. How you doing?
Hotep Shaka,
Or
how you
maybe.
feeling? Sac
Yeah,
passé,
Hotel.
mon frère.
Ça va là, ma boule. Vous comprenez pas les créoles?
Thérapie par les coins.
Yeah.
Oui,
Best
oui,
buddy.
monsieur.
What did you say, Vivi?
Oui, oui, monsieur.
Yeah.
Oui, oui, monsieur. Yeah. Yes, yes, sir. Yeah.
You
But yeah,
know.
the Bronx, you know, considered the birthplace of hip hop, and in Bronx is known as there's many, many Latinos. There's a third point that VB said, and I forgot. But go ahead, Divinely Inspired.
Yeah, peace, you know, to the conversation. Peace, man. You know, to everyone in the chat also. Now I'm in my 50s and I'm from the northern Bronx, my northeast Bronx, right? Place called Edenwald, right? And that was a project in the Bronx. And up the block on Laconia Shefflin was Cowboy, God bless the dead, from the Furious Five, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. I remember seeing him, you know. I remember seeing there'd be Slick Rick he lived up further from. I think he lived on Shefflin Avenue, also, if I'm not mistaken.
He's
But
non-FBA.
no,
He's from England.
no, and and but I think earlier on, it was like largely black people, black folks is doing it, and then but then it started integrating, like especially like with the dancing, the break dancing. You know, you had like Latino crews, you had Hispanic crews, you had uh, 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 Rocksteady, right? And New York City Breakers, and they were primarily Hispanic. You know, then you had like a lot of tagging crews also, like with the graffiti and everything. You know, but I wouldn't say, I'm not here to diminish anyone's role in it, because it's hip hop is flavored by many different people. Because not for nothing, one of the kings of graffiti, if not the largest known dude in old school, you know, type of graffiti in New York City, will be seen, and he's white. That's right. And he has this place called Tattoo Scene. He's a tattoo artist now, but it'd be seen. PJ is white. They're white people, you know. so it was like it became very inclusive after a while.
And Scene influenced a lot of writers.
Oh, you kidding? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Even my whack ass stuff, man, what I used to try to do, man, forget about it. I used to hear stuff on the 2 and the 5, like trains, right? And be like, oh snap. But come on, my stuff looked like a drunken spider did it, man. So my graffiti, you know, exploits, man, are like none. You know, I could never do anything like what they were doing, man. They were doing whole top to bottom trains, man. Like
But I learned from those guys, man. Graffiti, man. The New York dudes, man. Really, like Scene and them. Yeah, they were what do you call it? Revolutionary. Graffiti was revolutionary. Graffiti art was revolutionary in New York, man. The extent that they took it, man.
Period. Right. And you know what's so crazy is that when you see like what was that called? Style Wars. You have that. You have documentary. You have other documentaries. Oh man, what's that one called? Man, I forgot, man. I'm sorry. But and you see like how they were getting down, man. You know, and
Wild Style, you talking about?
Wild Style. Thank you so much. Shame, my Wild Style. You see how they're getting down, man. Those crews were integrated, man.
Yeah, they were, man.
Integrated. And that's one thing about hip hop is as a culture is unifying, you know. So yeah, people like, you know, Tariq Nasheed, who's an abo for real, who's pseudo as hell, you know, and he comes out and says, you know, with this FBA garbage, you know, it's garbage. It's garbage. Because you know what? Anyone born in the Caribbean is born in the Americas, man.
Exactly.
So aren't they foundational Black Americans also, if you want to put it that way, right?
I think they conflate things, man. I think that's the problem with Tariq. He's confusing people that aren't really able to
discern the truth.
Discern, yeah. Now, of course, they're foundational Black Americans because America is North, Central, and South America.
Yep.
But when he conflates it, the problem what he does is he now conflates that. It's the same thing we did with calling the United States citizens. We're referred to as Americans. It's the same problem. Actually, we're not the only Americans, and that's the issue. But when it comes to slavery and reparations, it's the states that are obligated to rectify the slavery that existed within each separate state. That's the problem. And Tariq is convoluting the two things. You know, he's being an asshole. But he's being very dangerous too at the same time. He's a dangerous asshole because he's spreading misinformation and he's profiteering off of creating division and shock drama instead of
Yes.
leading people to the light. You know, Jamaica, if you look at the reparations movements, they're from each single country across the Americas.
Hmm.
You can just check them out for yourself. They all have their own reparations committees. They're all communicating about reparations from different different other nations, benefactors, I guess you could say, right?
Right.
So I mean, it's like what he's doing with it, he's just controlling the controlling space, man. It's sad, bro.
But but
It's
but but you know also even what was really crazy, right? Is that
Mhm.
okay? During slavery, right? Where where did slaves come from? Like especially you go to Louisiana, right? Where did
Mhm.
slaves come from?
Cuba,
Haiti. Okay,
Haiti, yeah, Cuba, Haiti. They come
Cuba.
from. I mean, we arrived there first.
So exactly. So the thing is that you had a large influx of different people being put all together in that most miserable of all situations, but being put together nonetheless, right?
Hmm.
So what exactly is a foundational Black American then? Because the thing is that without these people, a lot of us, including myself, would not be here.
Yes. And on top of it, I mean, who's really telling the story? I mean, you're talking about a border, you know,
Mm.
that makes a difference. And so what they're really insinuating is that people don't cross these borders and do anything and never have. I mean, and that's the tragedy of it. I mean, it's not like there was a wall stopping people from going back and forth. People have been running back and forth for centuries, escaping and doing whatever they want just to be free. You know, some from the U.S. side of the border ran to the south. For some from the south side of the border ran to the north, and this has been going on the entire time. But I'm not trying to delegitimize like the concept of like the United States needs to pay in some way, shape, or
Oh,
form reparations to African Americans. I'm not trying to delegitimize that and just say, oh, well then the United States should pay everybody reparations across America. I mean, as far as I know, the conversations are like each separate state is literally responsible for their doing, right? And they got to find a way monetarily somehow to atone for this. You
but,
know, even Venezuela, Colombia, you know, Cuba, also, and the United States. You know, yeah.
but you know, I believe that the government must pay
Yeah.
because because you know what happened with certain slave owners, right after our manumission, right in
Mhm.
1865. What happened was some were paid reparations of $300 per slave lost. So, and that was by the government.
Say that
So
again. Sorry, bro. What did you just say? Sorry about that. Couldn't
it
hear
was
you.
freed, right?
Uh-huh.
Certain slave owners received
Oh,
reparations of
oh,
three
absolutely. Yeah,
hundred dollars per
yeah,
slave
yeah. Absolutely. The
lost.
slave owners received reparations.
Yes, and see the thing is, certain groups have received reparations also in forms of statehood, where we can say like, okay, look at Israel, right?
Mhm,
Israel
mhm.
was given allowed to take Palestine and turn it into Israel,
Yeah,
and sponsored by the West,
yeah.
right? Full protection and everything.
Mhm,
You know, look what happened with the Japanese survivors and their families of the internment camps during World War II.
mhm.
Right? So, what's the holdup? You know, because with us, it comes more also of not only money, but to repair us. Let's say with laws and everything, because basically no one's really been hit with you know, with legislation against them like you know, as much as our people have been, you know. So in those other people, there's no conversation about making them whole legally. But for us, it's like a two-step thing. It's not only financially, but it's legally, you have, this whole anti-black system that's here.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that has to be addressed as well. But the thing is that for people to be, this divide and conquer bullshit, man, that's pretty much what Tariq Nasheed preaches, And yes,
true.
He is an abo. He's one of those phony ass Moors too, that likes to say, there was a painting of George Washington with his slave who's dressed like a Moor. He said, "Oh, well, that's how they respected the Moors, and because look who's next to George Washington." No, his name was Bill Lee, and he was a personal body servant of George Washington, right? His slave, and that's how George Washington dressed him, not out of respect to any kind of Moor or anything, but because it was novel to do so. But what do we say on your panel? We just talk about hearts and minds, right? And people like him have people's hearts and minds, man.
Yeah,
and
it is because I always thought, like, I mean, I want to hear from what's the other brother here on the bottom? Hey, brother, you hear me? With the red, black, and green on?
RPG on?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you, brother. I'm just listening. I'm a little late to the discussion.
Okay, no worries. No worries. Just want to say what's up to you.
What's going on? Peace.
I always been confused about this because I'm like, when I think about it, like Moors, my question is, okay, who are you talking about? Like, when you say Moors, are you talking about like, are you talking about the people that came with the Christians to America? Like, are you talking about people that were sanctioned by the Catholic Church to come to the U.S.?
Or
like, is that what they're talking about? Because
the people,
or what is it they're saying? That's what I don't get, man.
or the people that went into Spain, parts of Europe, right? During, I forgot what they call that, but from the Maghreb, right?
Yeah, but there's two groups. One group went back to Morocco and the other group went to America with the Christians under the Christian, their crypto. So I'm trying to figure out.
That's not entirely true, brother, because the
not?
Spanish Inquisition kicked their ass out of Spain.
The ones that didn't convert.
Right. They had to take on a middle name, to denote that they were Christians.
But that's what I'm asking. Which one are they talking about? Because in the US, they had also crypto Jewish people that went there too. They were sanctioned also.
Then they call Moriscos.
Right.
Then you have some that went back into the interior Africa as well, and they were the ones that gave the trade routes to Songhai and Timbuktu. Would they say who were those African tribes that enslaved other Africans? It was those Moors, bro.
Right, but exactly. Again, so what I'm asking them is, what are they talking about? Like, they're the ones saying they're Moors.
Exactly,
right?
And it's a piece of history I'm confused about when it comes to them. When the Ottoman Empire sacked the headquarters in Turkey, Constantinople, they never mentioned those black Moors and what happened to them. You know what I mean? In 1450. Let me check. I'm posting the link. Hold on.
Yo, Shaka, you see those in the back chat? There's two links. I sent you a reference to the rap and the breakdance.
Oh, the Jubilaires. Yeah, that's rap, man. That's like, yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. They were rapping Bible verses.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
back
it
in the 30s
is.
and 40s.
But it's still in the context of America. I mean,
yeah, definitely.
And who's to say how they were influenced or how broad this was, or did it know a border? You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I think when you see it on camera, and you see it in video, to some extent, it represents like the power of the industrialism, right? But it's not to say that it didn't exist in places where the camera wasn't there, right? Or, I mean, how do you document it without a camera?
Well, as far as
Yeah, go ahead.
no, as far as like what the birth of hip hop is.
Yeah, exactly. Like, because the camera was there, we can document it and we can see it's been practiced there. But the rapping has been there since the 1950s, but at least it's been demonstrated here, right? And then you can see the breakdancing has been demonstrated by that camera also, right?
Right.
But what is to say it didn't? How are we to say that it didn't exist? For example, at least the breakdancing without the camera.
Well, the breakdancing looks like 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 African dancing actually, like that's what it looks like to me a bit, and as far as like the rap goes, I would say also, you ever hear Minnie the Moocher by Cab Calloway?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
He's not really he's doing like rap R&B.
Yeah, he's a rapper too. He's a
But
rapper too.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like look at the last poets really were like the foundation of rap, really, with with the music and the rapping, real rapping, man, not no singing.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I mean, I think it's so abstract
Mm-hmm.
in a sense, but you can't argue against what you see, right? And what you witnessed,
Oh yeah.
right? That's you can't argue against that. And but me myself, I could just tell you, like, I believe, that there's elements of that these elements that we draw from are the same elements that America draws from.
Right.
The same elements us in the United States we draw from. They're the same elements that African people draw from in Central America and South America. They're the same. So I wouldn't. I think in some kind of regard, it should be some caution and some care
Mm-hmm.
used, and that's what I don't like about Tariq, because he kind of uses a hammer, you know, where it might not be necessary or even appropriate. You know what I
Right.
mean? Uh,
Right.
we come from an industrialized country. I mean, the United States became industrialized, and it's a powerhouse today. But even in the 1800s, turn of the century, it was industrialized still. So some things got documented, and there's a lot of shit that didn't get documented.
Mm-hmm.
And those things that didn't get documented, they existed even if we don't know it, sadly enough. So I just don't like his approach. But in terms of reparations, I just know that as far as the UN is concerned, they're saying, and not that they're the ones that decide, but they're
Mm-hmm.
saying each state should pay reparations where these groups of people exist that were slaves. That's what
Yeah,
the UN is saying.
but
So,
you know what that would do?
yeah.
That would bankrupt these states, because the thing is that um look at let's look at Virginia. Let's take Virginia for instance, right? So
Yeah.
how much money would Virginia have to pay? Woof.
Oh, you mean state wise, right? Oh, what I
Yes.
mean by state is like what they mean nation.
Okay.
They mean the UN means nation, but what I mean when I said state, I meant nation. Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
okay.
Sorry about that. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
okay. I'm about to say,
But,
man.
but nonetheless, it's true what you're saying. If it was like, I mean, here's the thing: they
Mhm.
don't decide how you do it. The
Right.
UN's not deciding what you do or how you do it. They're just saying you got to come to a consensus with your population on how you're going to do it and
Mhm.
what works, you know? And what they're also saying is nothing it doesn't work. you know.
Right.
So, but in that regard, yeah, of course, man, the South is going to be bankrupt,
Oh
right?
yeah.
If you look at it that way, like the states, but they won't. It's the federal government, man. The federal government inherited the wealth of slavery and,
Oh
you
yeah.
know, and corporations, you know. And I think, well, I don't want to take up too much time on that, but as I'm seeing it going on across in different countries, the
Mhm.
dialogue, right? Because you know they have a reparations dialogue, even here in Denmark, they got it in Holland. You know that they have it in the
Yeah.
UK. Yeah, yeah. And from what I see is basically there's two angles. There's through the state, and then there's through the civil, right? There's, you know, and there's companies being sued.
Oh.
You know, there's companies being sued. I mean, there's companies that people can sue, you know,
Oh.
and it's happening. There's banks people can sue. It's not just the government that can be held accountable. It's also private industries that benefited from, you know, slavery for African Americans in America. It was a what did they call it?
An
A
industry. It was a whole industry. It
no,
was
no, no, but they have a term for the type of atrocity. It was a what's the term they use?
what?
Um, it was a they have a term, and it's essentially the worst thing that could happen to a group of people. What's the term they use? Damn, I
Oh,
have to look it up. I'm sorry, I'm getting confused with my words right now, but they use a term, and that term is basically the worst. It means the worst thing that can happen to a group of people, period. You see what I mean? So yeah, everybody's liable essentially.
mhm.
You know, it's just a matter of is it how you do it. Now if you see, look, there's you know what was I think what happened was is that when some places in the US started seeing that some banks and some institutions were being privately sued in like Europe, then
Mm.
what happened in the US, there was some, you know, but they're not talking about this stuff, man. There was some kind of all of a sudden you saw schools that used to have slaves, right?
Right.
All of a sudden they're giving free tuition to certain
Hmm.
students. They're taking some kind of action
Well,
to kind of,
did you mean a program?
huh?
A program, bro.
Yeah, they took some kind of action.
No,
It,
no, no. What you said the worst thing that can happen to people? It's
mm,
it's like a program. It's almost like
crime against humanity is
yeah.
what they call it, right? Yeah, that's what they're calling it. What
Yeah.
happened to African Americans, and not just African Americans, but Africans in the Americas, it was a crime. It's considered a crime against humanity. So
Yes.
essentially, anybody that was a part of that is up for grabs. It's just a matter of whether it's the state or whether it's institutions, but they're both liable. You see, and what's gone on in the U.S. so far is you would find like institutions like, you know, Georgetown University,
Mm-hmm.
right? You know, all of a sudden, have you heard anything that they're making some kind of thing about reparations and slavery? But they're doing it in their own kind of way. Let me look it up. There's a lot of private institutions, schools starting it, right? But
Okay.
I think
California
it's
too. The state of California has created a reparations task force as well.
Yep.
yeah. I don't mean it's only. I'm not saying it's only the schools, but that too. That's the state, right? But I was using the school as like a private example. It's like Georgetown University. That's a private institution, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they have many others, right? And it's true, like you're saying. The state of California, they opted to step out and do their own thing, like, you know. So I mean, for what it's worth, some kind of conversations are happening. I think it's all legitimate, but I think for some reason there's a reluctance for media to jump on it. I don't know. It's not a.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like it's a yin or the yang. But the right thing, I think African Americans, Black Americans, and not just in the U.S. but particularly us, because look at how many benefits we have that other Americans don't have. You know,
Mm.
other Americans in other parts of America, man. I mean, we have a little more political power than other descendants of Africa or diasporians in the Americas.
Mm-hmm. My thing is those brothers and sisters who identify as being Aboriginal, they really, in my opinion, they're gonna have an issue tying into getting reparations because they're saying that they're not, I guess, indigenous to those who experienced slavery. You follow me?
Definitely. I follow you 100%. I agree. You know, that it's just it may actually. I'm like on some conspiracy stuff. I'm like, are they doing this to be anti-reparations without saying it? Because you can, it's one way to come right out and say, I'm against this, but the next way would to be like to act like you're a friend, but everything you do is against it.
Right.
Well, reparations will probably kill that whole Abo movement in one fell swoop, because that would mean that you would have to acknowledge that your ancestors were African, right?
Mm-hmm.
So all that goes out the window. And you know what? I haven't seen one Abo show where they have any ancestors with native, or because they reject that. I'm sorry, any Abo type names, whatever that means. They
True.
can't any practices. What's their religion like? Any cultural thing
You didn't hear it? It's Tariq Nasheed, man. That's an Abo name.
exactly a strong Abo name from the plains of America, man.
You know what I'm saying?
It's funny because I'm in California, and the state of California has the most native tribes in any state in America. And Tariq's out here, and I don't see him advocating. I don't see him talking about CRM, which is cultural resource management. He's not talking about the political issues that these natives in California experiencing. I don't see none of that, bro.
Yeah, because he's a fraud, and the thing is that what most of these Abos are. Now I can see if you were confused, like growing up, your grand said something, this is and that, blah blah. But there comes a time where we got to grow up, man, and there's so much physical information out there. You can actually go see, records, man, like ship manifests and all that, where they went, these ships went, where they came back, when they, come on. I mean, not for nothing. Then people say, well, we need to see physical ships or whatever, right? First of all, those ships, after 400 years, they're wooden ships, man. So how long they're gonna last? Number one. Number two, there are wrecks all up and down the coast of America of these slave ships, and unfortunately, with their victims still attached to those wrecks. So, they didn't have to go to the plains, via ship, because you can't, to go get Abo. You know what I'm saying? So these are Africans, man. And also some of our spiritual traditions here comes directly from Africa, or were originated by enslaved Africans. And I was in the Lukumi practice, which is first was in Cuba, and was started by primarily Yoruba ancestors. So, but then you have hoodoo down here. You got voodoo down here. Where that come from? Where these words come from?
True.
Oh, so where did in fact, where did some of our food items come from? Right? Where did these black eyed peas? Where did the rice come from? Oriza glaberina is from Africa. So
what is it?
Oriza glaberina. That's the rice that we eat primarily here.
Okay.
So that is from Africa. Black eyed peas, African. Okra, African.
Just for the record, sorry. I heard Brother Divine Inspired say that Tariq Nasheed is a fraud, and here's an example why Tariq Nasheed is considered a fraud by many. Because one of the big talk about FBA to keep people hoping and wishing is Tariq Nasheed talking about reparations. Mankara mentioned that there's a task force, you know, that in reparations. We've seen that there was some events where the public could speak. And he went there. I don't know exactly what he said, but some people didn't like it. It looks like there was about to be a scuffle or something like that. But cooler heads prevail, you know. But on his website, and I've shown that months back. Oh, no, wrong one. There it is. Foundational Black Americans. If you search for reparations, there's only one result, and it's there. With this sentence, this type of information is important when foundational Black Americans present a reparation claim. There is not a single part of his website that talks about reparations. However, when you scroll down, get the new FBA flag power mini flag now. I'm sorry, Black Power mini flag now, $12. You go down, you have the book, $45.
There
you go down, you have the flag, the shirt, you know, FBA Maroon flag shirt. Buy now. We have Dr. Weston t-shirt. Buy now. You have FBA bandana, $14.99. Buy now. You have the large FBA flag, $24.99. Buy now. You have the mini flag again, $9.99. Buy now. You have the official FBA t-shirts. Buy now. Flag meaning who is from National Africa and who is not, blah, 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 and that's it. There's no sections on the website. You don't have a menu, and then you can go to reparations. So that was just for the record.
Brother, Inspired, do you have you heard of CARICOM?
Yes.
Yeah, you heard of CARICOM, right?
Yes.
They have a list. They got a list of nations. You know, they keep a list of nations. They keep adding on to new nations wherever they find different nations that have been a part of the slave trade in the U.S.
Yes.
Have you read that list?
Maybe a while ago, maybe. But I'm familiar with what you're talking about.
Yeah, CARICOM. But I was just bringing them up to illustrate, like, it's a lot of different reparations committees from different countries, you know, and it is really sad, you know. I think that, to me, that's the extent that I think Tariq is the most dangerous, that he claims to be for reparations, but has no real conversation about reparations. And I don't mean just like reparations in terms of what, quote unquote, U.S. citizens or African Americans or FBAs will want, but just how reparations is working in general for different countries. You know, the conversation. I mean, that's something that bothers me the most, because I find that the people that listen to him, he's able to sell them fallacies because they're completely unaware.
Yes.
They almost think that what Tariq makes it seem like it's us against them, that we won't get reparations if they do. And that's not the case.
You know, it's not the case, because the thing is that the government here is a separate entity from governments elsewhere.
Exactly.
And oh man, he's pissing me off, man, because on my wall, I can show you guys my enslaved ancestor, man, you know? And the thing is that his name is Scipio Brown, born in Surrey County, Virginia, 1760, 1834, right? So he was born enslaved, got free in 1804. We have that letter of manumission. So when people playing games with this type of shit, man, hey, look, man, a lot of us can actually pull these documents out and show, like, you know, this is you know, who we descend from, and that's what he's playing games with. To buy,
he is, man,
for some free,
and have you? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Go
and
ahead.
some bullshit ass flag he's got, man. Get the hell out of here.
And I don't know if I'm missing something, but have you ever heard him name one of his ancestors that's been a slave?
I say that too. Now, can he show who he descends from? right?
I can.
I
You
can.
know, I can. I mean, our age group, if you up in our age group,
Mm-hmm.
it actually, my great grandmother, I was telling Shaka this the other day. My great grandmother was born on a slave plantation and she died in DC and was taken back down south.
Mm.
You know, my grandmother, Grandma Mary Allen, I'm sorry, Grandma Cunningham, you know, she died 99 years old when I was like very young, maybe 5, 6, 7 years old.
God bless.
Long time ago. Yeah. You know, my great grandmother. But that's how slavery's not that far back,
It's not.
you know. And I'm like, but I'm curious. Has Tariq ever seen one of his relatives that was born on a slave plantation? Has he ever met one?
You know, and the thing is, would he even care? No, because he's only did a scam and to miseducate and mislead. You know, so the thing is that to say, okay, you know, FBA so and so. Okay, so who founded Chicago?
Mm-hmm.
A Haitian man founded Chicago, right? So the thing is that without these, you know, influences and without the, you know, well, the role of other people come from all different places to come here, you know, black folks, man, from all over. Come on, man. What will we know? What will we have right now? You know, like I said, you know, if you're from certain places down south, you are bound to be part Caribbean. Bound to be.
Definitely.
Bound
Yeah.
to be. Whether it's
Yeah.
Haiti, whether it's, you know, Jamaican, whether it's Cuban. Oh man.
It's
You know?
true. It's true, man. We were landing there.
Yep.
And coming and being transported here after. You know, and it's just, you know, I mean, but it is that's what I mean by the, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because when you talk about reparations, then the awareness is such a huge part of it. And if you can't speak to slavery, how it really functioned,
Mm.
and you know, in those terms,
Mm-hmm.
then how can you really be for reparations? Because you don't understand how it functioned.
Exactly.
I mean, it's just crazy, you know. And
Exactly.
I mean, and it does us a disservice because I don't think it changes much to say that, hey, man, we were dropped off there first.
Mm-hmm.
And most of, you know, most, and we have relatives that are in other places too, but we were literally dropped off there first and brought here. I mean, my last name, I mean, can't you know what my last name is, right?
What, Bennett?
Yeah, and you know, you have to know where that comes from.
What, the Caribbean?
Bennettsville.
From where?
South Carolina, Bennettsville, South Carolina, a huge
Oh,
slave
okay,
plantation.
okay.
But you have to know where those people came from. Because it's like, you know, it's almost the story of South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
They came from where?
So your folks are Gullah Geechee?
No, no, all the no, I'm not talking about the Gullah Geechee, but the you know, because that's I mean, they could we have relatives that are there too, you know, but
Mm-hmm.
what I mean is that everybody that was most of the African descendants that came through South Carolina come from first these Caribbean nations.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's a lot. It's yeah, man. It's
And
true.
40% of all slaves came through South Carolina.
You know, so it's like even the dude, I believe, hold on, even this guy, what's his name? Denmark Vesey.
Yeah, Denmark Vesey, yes.
He came there too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and from where? Trinidad? Something like that? Or no, the Virgin Islands.
Okay.
The Virgin Islands. That's how he got the name Denmark. You know? So it's like and what did he do when he got to America? Denmark Vesey. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
What did he do?
He's
He's yeah.
he started he started his a movement, his anti-slavery movement.
That's what I'm saying. Right there in what town? Charleston, South Carolina.
South Carolina.
And one of them is one of my ancestors too.
Okay.
You see what I mean? So I mean, it's all in the history of that place.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like that's what I don't like about Tariq, because I mean, when he doesn't raise the awareness to his audience about slavery. I mean, how can you be African American and be for reparations and not even have your own story to tell or know your own story? It's just kind of like, I mean, and be taking those kind of like vocal spots. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't mind it if he was like, trying to give space to others that could speak to it, the realities of it. But it's just
he's in it for a buck, man. I mean, his first books were like how to pimp and all that, how to be a player, So not for nothing, then all of a sudden he moved on to a more lucrative thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what this is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what he got. What he wanted, man.
He got what he wanted,
and that's what I was telling the Shaka. Sometimes that's the worst thing, for you to get what you want, because now he's stuck. I mean, he got that museum, so what you gonna do with it? And it's like he's stuck there, man. He's done. I don't think he's gonna have much to do with, because at the end of the day, to me, it just seems like he wanted to own a business, own a place. He just wants to be business, man. Yeah,
he wants to be famous and get money, man. That's all. Same thing with Polite. I mean, Polite is the same thing, man. Same thing. Egomaniacs and narcissists, what have you, that want to bend people to their will just to use them to get money. These are parasites, man. That's all. Parasitical.
And there's another thing I don't like with Tariq Nasheed. He's trying to paint a narrative that Africans and Caribbeans are against reparations. He may pick a couple, because some people have an opinion, but you have some FBA people also who have stated that, they're not in favor of it. You know what I'm saying? I think it's safe to say that if we ask the average Black person, in America, I think the majority would say that they are in favor of reparations. So they will pick the few who are against it, and then he said several times, now that we're trying to get our reparations, and now they're coming, like Africans, Caribbeans, like want a piece of the pie or something, man. And I really don't. Yeah, go ahead, brother.
I'm sorry, but no, I'm gonna cut you off, man. Go ahead, brother.
No, that's about it. I don't like that narrative. But some people are gullible, so whatever. Like that filthy Frankie, he's defending child molesters and rapists, and then he's gonna say, "Oh, those guys are bad people."
Mm-hmm.
But then you heard what he said also about, he said that I really believe, this is filthy Frankie saying this. I really believe that we should all learn Spanish. I'm like, what?
Yeah, right.
I'm like,
sure. Yeah, but that's so lame, because how we have it? I mean, he
exactly.
All he knows is he don't speak Spanish. What the fuck?
We have a unique history with Spain. That's why we tend to push back on learning it, because of the betrayal that the Spanish did to us when we were, occupying that area. You see, if you notice the history of both Spanish colonies, they have a history of corruption. It goes all the way back to their origin. I want to call it a coup d'etat, what they did to the Moors, and that's why there's some backlash on that.
Oh, right. Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah. That's,
but he was saying, like, in the context of like business, and it's like, well, who are we doing business with? Exactly. I'm like, why would you even say I'm like, Spanish for real?
Look, sharecroppers was focused on business.
Yeah. But then his father's supposed to be Dominican, right?
Yeah. Is that what they say?
Yeah, that's what he said.
Ooh, I didn't know that, man.
Yeah, man.
So he's full of shit, basically.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, it's like
he is, and but
he's capping. He's like, he's going against his pops. He's like, if you're Dominican, man, you can't stop. Why y'all coming for us? You coming for us, man. Coming
Mm.
for our money.
You know, but you know, it's funny because anything he has to say about anything should be thrown in the garbage anyway. Because like Tariq Nasheed, you know, he's a scammer too, man. And he facilitates scammers, man. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and that's just all that, you know. Man,
I agree.
I forgot my original train of thought thinking about that what you just said, but but yeah, but we're a mixture of everything here, and no one, you, no one can from anywhere else can say, hey, we should get a piece of the pie too. What, you know, that's just sowing like seeds of discontent, man. You know, and malice towards other people. You know, and that's insidious. That's insidious.
Yeah, and you know, man, I mean, if you think about it, you know, if oh, wait a second, what's going on? Sorry. Um, you know, did you saw this Uhuru movement thing, right? Where the
Yeah,
where I was we were talking about that, right? Where the FBI, oh, not FBI, I'm sorry, Russian
Russian.
state,
Mhm.
yeah, some Russian asset gave them some money and funded some things, activities for them to do, right? But
Yeah.
you know, I'm just curious, like, is like Tariq Nasheed part of that too? Because it's just, to me, it seemed like that would fall in the political realm, you know, and that's what they was looking to do, like use different political groups to sow discord in
Yes.
the US, you know, particularly during elections, right? So I'm just like curious about this, like, so division, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and it's really a bad look overall because, you know, division, this kind of division is way more harmful to the body, the total body, you know, of like African people who are all fighting for you know, reparations in some way, shape, or form, you know, whether it's from colonialism or whether it's from slavery, right? And just the timing of it seems real bad because all these countries would rightfully want to go into Africa. I mean, look at them right now. They're going into Africa. And if you have like African Americans kind of breaking off and just kind of not, for the first time in history, by the way, not really caring. You know, think about like apartheid, how apartheid ended. You know what I mean? I mean, it didn't begin with African Americans or Americans. Nah, it didn't. The end of apartheid didn't begin with the US, but it definitely ended it.
Right.
You know, once the US and people were marching in the US, and a lot of African Americans, you know, like, hey, what's up with this? You know, they're still living like this in Africa. You know, once they got involved, that pretty much changed it. It put it to, it ended it, you know?
It put a big spotlight on divestment. You know,
Exactly.
get
Exactly.
get the get these corporations and some of these universities too. Hey, man, whatever interest you have in South Africa and our apartheid state, man, kill it, man, because look how people are being treated.
Exactly.
And you
Yeah.
know, I get something really disgusting, despicable about that system also. Someone on Facebook was in a religious, well, we were having like a spiritual conversation, and for those that don't know, I'm like in the Eva Orisha community, right? So,
Mhm.
and this person from South Africa said, well, do you think I could be initiated into that? And I'm like, well, why would you want to be? Because your ancestors are something totally different. Your ancestors could be Zulu. Or I said, well, what are they? And he said, I don't know. And I said, well, what do you mean you don't know? He said, because
Mhm.
I was raised as a colored, and we were
Mm.
separated I was separated from my black family. So I don't
Mm.
know what I am. I said, God damn.
But South Africa, for some reason, that
Mm,
the colored thing is really big. That's like a big group. That's like a real thing, you know. It's something I also never anticipated that I had to find out about. You know, like wow, there's like people called coloreds. You mean, and this group is not white, but they're not they may not even be friends with the Zulus.
No.
You know, or it's like, damn, I never fathomed that. You know, it's like
You're raised in the middle. You're in the middle, literally. You're in the middle of where black folks live and where the white folks live. You're in the middle, and that's how you work. And then you could be an honorary white too. You know about that? The honorary white system. You could be an honorary white.
It's crazy, man.
You know,
it's hard. It's harsh.
It is. You know, and and that's how it was kind of here too, with some of our folks.
Yeah, and well, how do you think that? What's the parallel here? What do you think that is?
Well, if you were a freed person,
because the one in South Africa is harsh. I don't think anybody.
well, as far as
but a lot in common with South Africa politically. That's correct.
You better believe it. It's real too. It's real too.
All right, so let's give me an idea. Just come on, give me something there so we can see what the parallel would be. I'm talking about the parallel to the coloreds in South Africa. That's what I mean.
Oh man, those what you call it?
I was shocked, man.
Go South ahead. Africa, the apartheid.
The quadroon and octoroon society.
Right. Would it be the quadroon and octoroons, right? Yeah. That's what it would be.
Yeah, and I know that from my own family history, man. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
so I guess you're right, man. Yeah. It's true.
It's true. And there was a different culture from being compared to an enslaved black person, man.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
It was like, you look a certain way, you're a mulatto or whatever you want to call you, Even down in Louisiana, man, these Creole, you have passe blanc. And passe blanc, man, you're passing.
That's what that means, right? Passe blanc.
Passe blanc.
I knew that right off the top. Passing for white. Passe blanc.
So a lot of these folks, these white folks, descend from black folks, man, passing as white.
But I heard it was pretty brutal, man. I mean, in South Africa with this stuff, like I mean, I'm talking about the violence. There's violence committed against coloreds. Like there's violence between these groups. Like, when you talk about quadroons and octoroons, do we have that kind of violence in America with it? I mean, even though they're there, but there's not like outright violence, right?
You know what? That might have to take a little bit more studying about, man, because even though you could call yourself an octoroon and quadroon, you're still black. You're still an N-word to the people in charge, these white folks, man. So don't get it twisted. Just because you think you're a little bit better, we may give you a wider berth. Nah,
I believe from what I heard, it's more paralyzed. Well, that shouldn't be a surprise.
Mm-hmm.
Shit is more extreme in South Africa, but same shit, but more extreme. But I heard it was really paralyzed, like, really, really, really paralyzed. Yeah, like maybe the nuances aren't there.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like there's a finite colored group, you know what I mean? And it's like, damn, you all like, is it that deep? Whereas in the US, I think the African American community, whatever people want to call it, today that's so sad. We have to think about that. It's Black American, African American. Which one is it? But you know what I mean? Black American, African, whatever you want to call it, right? We seem to, I mean, my impression has been, just because of my upbringing, from where in my generation, we had light skin, dark skin, everybody on the same block. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like everybody up to the same things, everybody in the same crew. And it's like some different shades, you know what I mean? But then again, your shade is not everything. It's also your features and your manner.
Yes.
You know what I mean? These
Yes.
kind of things. So for me, it was never like shade. Shade didn't really mean a whole lot. It's you know, um, but I think in South Africa, it really does.
Yeah. And especially if you descend from a white parent, oh
Mm,
yeah, they're gonna
mm,
take you. Look, you ever hear like Trevor Noah? He talks about that. You know,
mm.
about how if they knew that his he had a white father, he'd be snatched from his parents and from his mother, snatched
By the
and
government or who?
yes, by the government. And
Oh, really? Whoa, I didn't know that.
he would have been a colored.
Oh, right.
And see, like that guy on Facebook, man. I'm like, man, you ain't Yoruba descendant. You're not Yoruba. You're you're South African. And when he told me that he didn't even know who he descended from, and he didn't, I don't know. I said, well, how's that even possible? And he told me I was raised as a colored,
And they don't tell you,
and they
right?
don't. Nope, you
That
just
is
colored.
that
That's it.
is crazy.
And
That
I'm
is
dang,
crazy.
you know. So so
Because
that
they didn't want them to know.
they didn't want them to know because they needed allies, right? So they needed they needed people on their side.
That is so crazy, man. That
You
is
know,
so crazy. I never. That's what I mean by harsh, man. And the
but
only reason why I suspected is because I talked to it's two South Africans I talked to before.
mm-hmm.
Um, one I don't know what they were. Very, very light, but he had features, African features, right? But then the other one didn't have these African as much as these African features, and it was a lady, and she was telling me that the physical violence against women is brutal in South Africa. Like,
Oh man.
but then there was one other. There was one other, and this was the one that got me, man. Oh my god, because this one was a goddamn coon over here.
Um,
And it shocked me because I'm looking at him thinking like this, he's black, right? He's black. Okay, he should be able to understand this shit. And and it took me a minute to realize, like, to understand. I mean, actually, it didn't take me a minute to understand. I would have never understood if he didn't tell me. Finally, he came out and started talking to me, and he disagreed with everything that I stood for. you know and I was totally confused because I'm like, how could you see black people being called the N-word here and
mm-hmm.
shit? You see all this shit going on. I mean, in some ways it's a good society, but in other ways some shit is like way back. It's like back in the, you can imagine if you still calling black people nigga, and that's considered like, what did we say wrong?
Yeah.
You can see that part they way behind on. And so that took a lot of mobilizing, man, a whole lot for years and years and years. And this guy was against it, right?
Mm,
And he just didn't. And he brought that South African shit of being colored to
right.
Denmark. He brought it here.
Oh.
And he still saw himself as like that. And I'm looking at him like, man, whatever you think you are.
Yeah, right?
I'm like, boy, you fucking confused as hell,
Yeah,
man. Because they see you as a nigga. You don't see that? Like,
yeah.
they're calling you this every day. Like, and he's just like, why make any trouble by it, man? He was totally caught up in the middle of it. Like, he didn't know what side to take. He didn't know if he should take the side with the blacks. But it's like, it's obvious they calling you the N-word, dude. You know, it was
But
crazy. It's
but
the first
that
time I
is
ever ran into that, man. I was confused like hell.
yeah, because it is confusing, because they're confused.
So in their behavior confuses you because you know what time it is here, you know. But they'll
It
find out
really
look at
confusing.
that Negro wake up call, or you
Yeah,
know.
he gave me trust issues. Like I'll never
Well,
get like serious. Like
yeah.
I don't trust his ass to the day. Every once in a while, I see his picture come up on my profile or some shit, and I'd be like, sorry, block." Shit
Block.
like that. Like, yeah, man.
That's
It's
right.
like, and you know what's funny?
Uh-huh.
10 years later, he's talking this black shit now.
Because he got a couple of wake up calls, bro.
And I'm like, don't trust you. Sorry.
Yeah. That's the
So,
unfortunate.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I'm like, I don't trust you, man. Sorry. You know, you got to mean it.
You know?
It was crazy, man. But yeah, they have a situation there, man.
Yeah. You know, I've experienced that also with certain people, you know, and that want to laugh and kiki with these racist North Africans, man. And it's like, don't you know that they hate you too? Like, why would you want to kiki with these dudes, man? And these dudes are talking all this mess, man. You know, and then when they call me an N-word, we think they're calling you. By extension, they're calling you the same thing.
It's
Right?
sad, man. It's
You know,
sad. So embarrassing.
and so, well, no, they're not talking because you know it's you that you're the one causing problems, causing trouble. I'm causing trouble by telling the truth.
Mm-hmm. It's
You know,
true, man. It's crazy.
I'm causing trouble. Okay, I'm a troublemaker. Well, good. I'm a troublemaker then. But you know what? It's better than being a coon. Any day of the week.
Yeah.
Any.
You know, I think, you know, my perception on this like North Africans and their issue with anti-blackness, you
Yep.
know, is like my position on it is just that they don't know, but they're confused, man. They don't know better. They're locked in to a group, and if they don't ever get outside of that group, they don't get new information. They don't get new looks on that situation, you know.
Well, you
And
know
I
they.
think, yeah, go ahead.
You know they are.
What?
They're abos too. Because the thing is that you even have there's in a Spanish Egyptologist by the name of Dr. Moreno, right?
Mhm.
And he was asked, he said, well, are these modern Egyptians are they descendants of the let's say foundational Egyptians or people that founded a culture?
Mhm.
And he was like, I don't think so, you know.
Nope.
And he's a white man, and I was like, what, you know? And the thing is that they've been
It's the
told.
same in Denmark, man. They don't say that these white people don't believe that. They can clearly look at it and know. They don't they know like Arabs are not
You can blame that
the Egyptians.
you can blame
That's
that
it.
2010 census that came out, which
Mhm.
reclassified North Africans and some Latinos as being white.
Oh well, some of them are. It's true. Some of them are.
Some of them are, exactly.
You know?
It is true.
The crazy
Oh,
part
yeah.
is Arabs and Latinos are an ethnic group, not a race.
Right. Well,
Exactly.
yes,
That's true.
you're right.
Yeah, but that's changed now. If you remember the last time you filled out application, it's like 3 different sections. Are you Latino? Are you Hispanic? Are you white Latino? Same thing with North Africans.
Like, I think that brother's name is Bosny. His last name is Bosny. He's an engineer, I believe. And when he came to America, they told him, they said, since you're from Egypt, you have to mark down that you're white. He said, I'm not white, I'm black. And his brother, I mean, he's like in the 70s now, you know, but he's been fighting for that. He said, look, you can obviously see that I am not what I'm not white. And they're like, well, you better put it down because it go easier for you here in America or what have you. And he just
they have a problem, man. They have a problem, you know. It's the same old stumbling block, you know. It's like they live in a society where where they're being taught anti-black things.
Oh yeah. Well,
And at the same time, they have black people there.
exactly.
And so they try to play games like, okay, this guy's black, but he's Arab. And it's like, no, he might be Arab, but he's black, and he's the same one you've been talking about. This anti-black shit, anti-black racism shit about. And they try to play it off and they get confused because it's like, how can you have a black man standing next to you and you know this guy's black, but you're saying he's Arab just to get around the politics of it?
Arab, because they say they're not Arabs, even though their documentation, their official documentation from the government says that they're an Arab state. But the thing is that some people calling me the N-word, whatever. I'm like, well, wait a minute, my man, you're black. I hope you know that, right?
Yeah, you talking to me?
He's not black. He's an Egyptian. I said, well, what the hell does that mean? He's black. And I said, why don't you come to New York City, let NYPD get a hold of your ass? Let's see what time it is. What would you say? Because they're going to treat you accordingly, how they treat the rest of us.
Mm-hmm.
And you can play that shit all you want in Egypt, man. But if you were to come over here, and even in other parts of Africa, you'd be black.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy, right?
That's why I like that we were colored, because it was like Johnny Clark says, it's not how black you are. The question is, are you white? Oh, if you're not, then you must be with those group of people over there. But if you look at it for what it is, this was the problem. Even in ancient times, you have black and you have white, right? But then you have all this in the middle. And in my opinion, they would pick and choose what they would identify with depending on who was in power.
Mm-hmm.
When we were in power, they were all black. You see, now the Europeans are in power, they flip the script now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's true.
Well, there's a famous speech by Dr. Clark, and he said he was about to write a book, and the book was going to be entitled "The Role
of the Bastard."
Bastard.
There's a factor in history.
But he didn't want to write it.
Mm-hmm. Wake it up.
Because it would hurt too many people's feelings, right? But the thing is, he was right in how he described how people would come, would pay will come back into their mother's population looking like the mother, but with the father's foreign and oppressive mindset to wreck that culture from the inside out.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. And then you look at it and it's like, well, he's got a lot, because look what's happened in South Africa. South Africa, these black folks call themselves Arabs, man. Right? I'm sorry, South Africa. I'm the Sudan. I'm sorry, the Sudan. Northern Sudan.
There's a Kadabilo. He's got a question. But let me ask this brother something.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think we want everybody to identify as black? Who said that?
I didn't say that.
Yeah, I didn't say that either. I don't want everybody to identify as black.
I don't.
So I'm not understanding this question. It sounds like it's okay. The real question must be after that. We East Africans are not black. We have our own ethnicities. Well, that's according to your interpretation. Black is not an ethnicity in that sense where you are, right? Because everybody's black. So why would you have a black ethnicity when everybody's black? But at the same time, when you leave East Africa, they call you black. When you go to Arabia, they call you black. When you go to Europe, they call you black. They don't see where you're from. They don't see if you're Tanzanian when you leave Africa because they don't know anything about Africa.
No.
But they know something about your color. You see?
That's right.
So have you heard of something called anti-black racism? I mean, if you've heard of it, then you might know what we're talking about. The things we're talking about are within that context.
That's
He's on
right.
holiday.
And let's look at
He's
Somalia.
on holiday. He's on holiday. It's like, you know,
But let's
I
look at
guess
Somalia.
that's
Look how
probably Chief X crew. I'm sorry, just 1 second, because earlier there was a other dude who first came in. Hold on, let me show you. First came in
Hey,
there.
for the record, it
He's
doesn't
like,
even
damn,
matter.
Chief X going on you on white supremacy channel, calling you the N word. What happened between you and him? So I just ask you, can you give me the channel name or the video title? And then he goes again, what's going on between him and blah, blah, blah. So then, I did the same thing. I blocked him. And all of a sudden, there's another dude who's like, yeah, I'm from East Africa. I don't have nothing to do with black. You know what I'm saying? This is,
Oh, but look,
Chief
check
X.
this out.
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
I don't give a damn who he knows, because do you know how many Somalis I know?
Exactly.
I know loads of Somalis, and the Somalis I know are fucking black. I'm gonna tell you that from the right now. Now, all Somalis may not identify as black, and that indicates why they have that's part of the conflict they have. They're different clans. But let me tell you, when they leave Somalia,
Yep.
and they come over here to Denmark, you know, they know what anti-black racism is. You know, they talk about it all the time. When you see them in the UK, what are they calling themselves in the UK? You know, seriously. So I don't understand. This guy thinks we're just morons or stupid. I think none of y'all, Chief X doesn't go out and do any fucking cultural anthropology, period.
Exactly.
You know, I actually
And
go
Brother
out
Big,
into this community in Denmark. It's people that call me from different countries, loads of countries, just to make sure they can qualify the other shit that they're hearing. You know what I'm saying? It's like, this dude, man, it's not, all Somalis aren't. Look, all Eritreans aren't. There's a small segment of Eritrean that are Arab descent. There's a small segment of Somalis that are Arab descent and look like it. But you cannot deny the fact that at the same time, there are also black Somalis. You know,
that's a
just
fact,
that's
Brother Big, because those who I've met in America, they're the one African group that tend to identify closely with us, right?
exactly. In
Right.
DC, shit, them Somalis cool as hell. They know our music. They get down with us, work with us, hire us. I'm like, what the fuck is this dude talking
And
about?
I like to hit them with this right here, right? Somalia is too close to Saudi Arabia to be the poorest nation in the world, and they practice Sharia law, right? They're devout Muslims. So why are they being penalized by their Conrad, their Islamic Conrad, which is to the north of them in Saudi Arabia? You see,
You know
It's
why.
true.
Oh, yeah.
And let me ask you something. Is there, I mean, this is so funny that this is so also so silly, but it's an opportunity to talk about it. I mean, look, if you talk to the elders, I mean, and anybody, even in Eritrea, look, I talked to my how can I say, not stepmother? What is it? Your wife's mother? What is that called?
Mother-in-law.
Mother-in-law. I'm sorry. It's because of the language. I get confused these days, man. Mother-in-law, right? My children's grandmother. They in Denmark they call that mormor, right? Mother's mother, right? She tell me stories, boy, about growing up in Eritrea. I know some stories, and the stories are that they have a problem in her generation with Arabs would come there across the water and steal their babies from the beach. Do you think they like these people? Do you think they like these people?
Wow.
Oh man, you out it. This guy's telling a fucking fact. But this is what Shaka was saying. There is some little brainwash element there, but people shouldn't confuse the brainwash element with the body. You know what I mean? Like, cause these little ones always try to slip in there, and it's not like that at all. I know so many goddamn Somalis, man. It's like, it's like not only are they profoundly proud to be African, but black too. And this dude is like, what the? He's like, hey, look at this. He's gonna speak for all of them too. He don't want to speak for himself. Why do you want? He want to speak for us too. Why do you want everyone to be black? We didn't say we wanted everybody to be black. And on top of that, nobody black wants you. And then it's like we East Africans are not black. You see, now he's speaking for everybody else. So he's gonna speak for us and for the rest of them. But
Well,
he's
maybe
one person.
maybe he
Okay.
can. Yeah, he could try his hand at being Passe Blanc too. Well, go ahead, man. Try it.
I'm
Be
just
that.
like,
Let's see
I'm
how
like,
far you get.
I'm like, this man is just fucking confused. You know, it's like, get real. If you don't know that there's a whole lot of black ass Somalis out there that are proud to be black,
Yeah.
then
yeah.
I'm just like, okay, he needs to travel around, and where the hell is he living? You know, that's my question. It doesn't take a
Real
genius to
talk.
figure out. Oh, go ahead, brother.
It was a Somalian brother that told me. He said, "Don't let them call you op." I was like, "What you mean?" He said, "The same word for slave in black and Arabic mean the same thing." I was like, "Damn, brother, good looking." You see what I'm saying?
Abid.
Abid.
Mm-hmm.
And then they
Yeah.
have another word, zinj or zanj, too, and that really means word too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yo, this is the internet is a weird ass place, but I'm not from the internet. You know, I mean, so I'm just like, whatever you want, whatever you think. If you can't, if if it's not, I know people that do things in real life, and I
Right.
know how they act. You know what I mean? And I've been around long enough, to know like this kind of shit is just like this is a person that doesn't do shit. This kind of comment, what do
Mhm.
you want, everybody, and why do you want? This is a person that doesn't do shit where they're from, around their community, whoever they're around, they haven't done shit. That's what I mean. Really, that's
That's
how I
that's
look at it.
that's Chief X crew, brother. That's
Yeah.
GC,
Okay.
JC Penny
Because I get
scanning,
outside.
crack
I get
smoking.
outside for real. You know what I'm saying? I get outside for real. It's not a joke. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like I
You
get
got a
outside
man.
for real.
We
It's
know the
like he can't
history.
tell
You
me what
know.
Somalis are. What the fuck?
Chief X
You
sends his
was-
minions because he won't step up by himself. But brothers, it's been 3 hours. I'm gonna get a bit of rest. But it was lovely. I love the convo all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And feel free
Man,
to
Karai,
hop on
good
the
to see
panel.
you, bro.
Yeah,
Likewise, brother. To be
Yeah,
continued,
man. That's
man.
what's up, brother.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming, man.
we're
Same here.
connected. We're connected no matter where we are. So
Oh
thank you
yeah.
very much, brothers. I ain't gonna play the outro. I'm just gonna say my usual closing remarks. Stay safe, stay healthy. If I'm allowed to, by the nature of the world, I will definitely holler back at you. I don't argue or steadfast. If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. If you do not think right, you will not act right. If you know better, you will do better. Do it to do an hotel.